or for Senate?
I don't know, but we've got local mayoral race here, and candidate.
I'm watching for the live. Did you hit the live button
Yeah,
yet?
yeah.
Man, it's taking a while. Here it comes. Okay, you're live.
Oh, we'll be live quicker this week. Last week was
I lost your audio.
Yeah, you're muted, Jim.
it does that to me too. It mutes me. It doesn't like the Yeti mic.
Oh, maybe it's trying to tell you something.
Huh?
Hey guys, how's everybody tonight? This is what you're supposed to do when you start a
good
show.
evening,
Hey
everybody.
everybody, welcome to Above and Beyond
Welcome
Drones.
to Above and Beyond Drones.
No, I start bitching right away. Is what I do.
There you go. All right. There's your opening. No extra
Where's the
charge.
Squirrel? I was expecting the squirrel voice.
Oh,
You mean like this?
That one.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Tomas O'Sullivan, Brent Nunley's in the house. Jaybird, Joe, how you doing? Agent K.
Dennis,
Agent
Lovelady.
So now I always want to call him Agent K Video because
Well-
the secret's out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just call him Agent. That's his first name.
Yeah.
And
I keep
everybody,
thinking of-
Spank's in the house tonight.
That song. Secret Agent Man.
Secret Agent Man.
Your number taken
Peter
away.
Carroll.
Nate.
Hey, Peter Carroll, how you doing?
Peter Q.
So, where is Al? Al is not jumping in with us tonight.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat.
Yeah, I see him in there. So, Arthur,
Jody.
Yes.
you did a. Hey, Dre, I think I sent you a email. You know what? I looked up. Dre has a pair of those BT300s, and I know he was gonna do the
Oh.
presentation on them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Hey, Steve, Rick.
how you doing?
Hey, buddy,
Good,
how you
buddy.
feeling?
How you doing?
All right, doing good.
We can't hear you, Steve.
How about now?
Ah,
Hey.
much better.
Better.
That's weird. It was on and fine, and then all of a sudden it just muted it when it went live automatically. That's crazy.
It did that to Jim too.
Yeah, it did it to me too. Hey, Joe.
Hello,
Hey,
how
Joe.
you doing?
Hello, Joe.
Hello, how you guys doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Just complaining.
Yeah,
Rick, my
James,
drone.
you want to finish
say
what
that?
you were going to say?
Oh, I just wanted to tell Rick that my drone is finally at. What the hell do I do again here? At Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems, and they're gonna check it all out, make sure it's up to snuff. It got delivered on July 16th, and then send it back to me. But it's still got different serial numbers up there, so trust me, I'm going to be videoing that one. I don't know what the hell's coming out of that box.
I'm going to hear
A camera here, a camera here. There'll be a camera here, a camera directly overhead. We'll have a 5-axis camera shot.
Yeah. there-
I'm about 10, 12 miles from Jim.
You'll
If
hear
I
it.
leave my windows open, I'll probably hear the screaming.
We got to bring this gentleman on, guys. I got to do this. And we got to say hello to Dennis Lovelady.
Hey,
Hi,
Dennis.
Dennis. How you doing?
I caught Dennis the other night, and he was taking requests. As he was doing his, was that a sunset stream I was watching?
Probably, yeah. I think
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
It's taking requests.
Not only does he take requests, he makes custom videos too.
Yeah.
We got
That happens occasionally, Steve.
Yeah, I know. For my granddaughter, my new granddaughter, it was so funny. I caught his live stream because I was woken up by my son to tell me that I was a grandpa and he was a daddy. And so I was up to catch Dennis's stream, and he had his ukulele out and by the side of him, but he was singing mainly. And he was thinking of a song, and then all of a sudden the song came in the text, and he ended up doing a custom production, Isn't She Lovely, for me, congratulating me on being a granddad,
Yeah.
which
great.
was a wonderful surprise.
Well, thank you. Rick has received a couple of those as well.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
a couple of
Sorry
what
about
songs?
the echo.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, they
Oh,
make
okay.
some sort of recommendation for something I hadn't heard, and so I'll work it out on ukulele and make a video of it and send it off to the person that recommended it. That's all. So I
But I
don't
love his-
always do that. I can't always do that. I'm spending so much time now with the ook as it is that it's hard. But that was a special occasion, and you know, just sometimes I can do it. That's all.
And I loved his two disclaimers in the video. Once in the middle, when he was trying to plunk down on the ukulele, and he got slower and slower and slower. And then towards the end, and he goes, I don't know what it is, Steve. He's stating this. I'm kind of quoting him now, what it is. But it's just this song, all of a sudden, for some reason, the camera just starts slowing down, and my movements are slowing down, and he starts to slow him down again. But I'm going to blame it all on you.
What's going on with Al? Al got locked out of DJI on the airspace, and I see Dre, Recovery 1 drone.
Mhm.
The next visit is in 14 days. You know, I can't stand this. They want you to use LAANC. I have certificates of airspace authority, but I only have them because Melbourne Airport does not have LAANC. Orlando Regional MCO just got LAANC, and so we won't be able to use COAs there. But that means that we all have to have an internet connection to our drone, go to the FlySafe site, and put in for a unlock code.
Yeah, it's a pain, isn't it?
Ah. And Diaz is telling us he just lost money because of it.
Oh,
And
really?
you know,
Wow.
Mitch, you know all the construction videos I've been doing of Florida Power and Light, changing out all these poles and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
They've got a contract out now. They're changing them all. I
No
mean,
kidding.
in mass.
Cool.
En masse, ENMASSE.
Yeah, yes. Is that more work for you? More work
Oh.
for you?
I'm hoping so because they're paying the VOs, the visual observers, $250 a day. So,
That's terrific.
but I'm in as a subcontractor, so fingers and toes and everything crossed. Because they train in-house their own pilots. And the only thing that's getting me in the door is the Matrice 210.
Yeah. So you want to pray about something, pray that what you get back actually works.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's a lot involved there. Obviously, I'll be using a visual observer, which I kind of, you got to put faith in someone else now. Are you telling me I'm going to be staring at my screen? I don't like to do that, especially when I'm around power lines. I like to
Yeah.
see. You have with these Micro Four Thirds cameras, you have an f2.0 focal distance. And you kind of get used to it on each one of your drones, right? You know how close you are to that tree or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah.
You get used to that. And I think it would actually be odd I would rather have it like Mel had it out in California. That one guy was a camera operator, the other guy flew the drone. That would seem like a much easier.
Well, I'm
system.
available for reasonable hourly rates.
They're paying $250 for per 10 hours.
No, I mean if you need help.
Are you interested in that?
Yeah, I mean I'll help you out if you need somebody to help you with that stuff.
I'll send you the link then.
The link to what?
They don't even want your carpooling.
Do they hire? Do they? When you say you'll send me the link, I mean, I was saying that I would help you out as a visual observer or whatever you needed.
Yeah, but I would have to get you paid.
Yes, that would help.
So you have to sign up.
Yes, well then, send me the link already. Quit fooling around.
I hate. But listen, they don't even want you driving in the same car. Mitch and I are literally one exit apart from each other.
Well, that's too close. You need to move.
Yeah.
One of you needs to move.
There's
They're
COVID.
going to separate you immediately.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, hell, why not?
Just don't get Kelly Green.
So what is that? Is that his next opportunity is going to be in 14 days to fly that site, or he's got to fly it within 14 days? Because
evidently he only had 30 minutes to fly it, so it sounds like a rocket launch. The window was a 30-minute window, and the next window opens up in 14 days. If I'm not, I mean, that's how I interpret it.
he showed me a list that was simply incredible of the ones he had to put in. He had to put every date and time. Oh, thank God Al's here, so he can tell us, and I can stop talking about it. And Ron's here too, so I'm going to be bouncing you boys around. All right,
Okay.
when he comes on, grill him, boys, so I can learn something here. I'm going to jump out.
I survived.
Hey, Al.
I might be
Al?
next out. Hey, Al, how are
Hey
you?
guys, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes, we can.
Great. How you guys doing?
Great.
Good.
How about you,
Good.
Al?
Doing good.
Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
good. Al, what's going on, buddy?
Oh man, yesterday I went out to the job site and it was the first day there, and I had authorization to fly. 30-minute window. It's usually at lunchtime, right? Crane operator comes down, gets his food. I'm able to fly around and take the panel shots at each cardinal position of the structure. So this is right across the street. Well, not right across the street, but across the street from Santa Clara Police Department, about a half mile or a little bit more, maybe 3/4 to a mile from KSJC, San Jose Mineta Airport, which is a Class C. So I got an authorization, 30-minute window, 100 feet. So went to go fly it. I went in initially to DJI to see if I needed to unlock it. And maybe with the way I thought it should have been, assuming, I went in there and I tried to unlock it myself, because there's a self-unlock. And I kept on clicking the pin that's on the address, and nothing was happening. So I just went out to the job site. I was like, you know what, let me take a crack at it. If anything happens and it pops up, I'll do what I did at the last job when I was at Sacramento. And I couldn't get in. It didn't let me access the unlocking via a tablet or a phone. You have to do it on PC. Oh, it was crazy.
I did that. I did it on the PC
it
last
required
month.
you to do it on the PC. I couldn't do it on the tablet.
But let me tell you what happened to me. A month ago, there's a boat parade out behind my son's house on the Intercoastal, and right there where his house is a no-fly zone. For some stupid person has some kind of private use airport that just happens to shut him off. So you have to always unlock the drone. So I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get an unlock code. I went on the DJI, got the unlock code, got out there. I couldn't make it work. No matter what I did, it wouldn't work. I tried it on 2 different drones. It just would not let me unlock it. I couldn't even find the list of where the unlock codes were in the app. So that's such a hassle, man.
I was able to access it a bit ago when I was in Sacramento doing commercial real estate, and I was able to do it because I tethered my iPad with the smart controller. And I, like a dummy, I did not bring that OEM controller or the iPad. Figured it was a close job. I'd just go over there and try to handle it real quick, and got there, and it wouldn't let me take off. Oh, I was livid. I couldn't even get on my iPhone and access it. It was completely through PC. I had to do it.
All right, so how am I going to have to do this?
You have to manually do it, Jim. You have to go on the DJI's website, Google Unlock GeoFence. Go in there
from your house.
From your house on your PC, or maybe if you were there on a PC, I don't know, via Wi-Fi. I don't know if you brought your laptop out there.
Well, if you had an internet connection
Exactly.
through your cell phone or something, you'd be all right.
I should have known better doing this as long as I've done it.
I've got the problem of the crystal sky.
Yeah, and I didn't bring a backup, and I couldn't get off the ground. I had a 30-minute window, and because they have a crane there, all these places I go to have cranes. So when the crane stopped, it's probably around 11:30 when they go on break. So I scheduled everything around that time.
Oh, your crane was operating. See, I go when they're not operating.
Yeah, exactly.
No problem.
Exactly. So it's one of those issues.
I'm so lucky with that damn certificate of authority, but man, the minute I wonder if it's still going to be good for its 1 year period, or the minute they come out with LAANC here, will mine end, because they say on the paper that it's at their determination when it ends.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. Every time I go into the drone zone, it is?
Yeah.
Well, the drone zone, there's no other way to do it. And manually try to get authorization. So this way, it's not a set date like a COA.
It's DJI Safe Unlock. Unlock Safe.
Oh, you're talking about the Safe Unlock. Okay, I thought you were talking about FAA website.
And
no,
they
I
don't
went
know.
in and manually unlocked it. You have to give them your picture of your ID, picture of your Part 107 ID, and you have to give them the authorization number and the docket number. And I took an actual picture of it and sent it to them, and it was cleared in 30 minutes. But just the fact that I went out there and wasn't able to do it because that thing was unlocked. Any other drone, if I had my Evo 2 Pro and I could take panos, shots in every third, 26 photos, I would have been able to do it.
Can I suggest one thing to you? Can you look for me, just for me, because I know you love me? Altitude Angel lets you store these things on their site.
What's it called?
Altitude Angel.
I've never even heard of it.
There's two of them, Altitude Angel and Kitty Hawk. It's software.
Kitty Hawk, I heard of.
Yeah. But I know that you can store your documents once you upload them to their site, and you store them, and then they'll process that for you.
Okay.
I have not tried it.
I filed for this place not knowing or even thinking I would get clearance because it's so close to the airport.
Right.
So when I got clearance for 100 feet, I was shocked. So I just kept on filing for it every 2 weeks because it's bi-weekly. And I got it. I keep on getting authorizations. Now it's all the way up to October. But it's that 14-day window. So if you miss that 30-minute illegally, I could go out there and do it. But am I going to do that? No, I'm not going to risk it, especially when I'm across the street from a police department. I'm just not going to take that chance.
You couldn't give yourself more than 30 minutes?
Well, here's the thing. The crane starts to swing. Those guys don't want to stop for me. Yeah, I've told those guys that the pictures that I'm taking are not just like toy pictures. They're assets for the people that are vested in this development.
Right.
They want to see the progress. So, I'm out here for a reason. So I've told them that before, and they've actually stopped it. They did work on the opposite side, but they give me like 5-10 minutes. But when that thing's swinging around, you can't trust it. There come times where I thought those people knew I was up there, and here comes a crane swinging in my direction.
He can't get the COA, Dre. Yeah. He can't get it because they have LAANC in that area. No. The FAA will not let you get a COA if they have LAANC in the area.
No. That's the big thing. That's the unfortunate thing. So much red tape. But yeah, I lost out on that day, so I got to go back August. Is it August? Yeah, I got to go back August 3rd, I think.
Why can't you come up next week
because
or tomorrow?
Because it's not authorized. It'll be an illegal flight.
No. These things at DJI Unlock.
No, the unlock thing is already unlocked. I went through it manually. I had to go on their website. I can't do a self unlock. I had to go through them and put all in the information I have, all of it. You know, all my card information, the authorization to fly there, and they released it. Now they gave me some instructions. I did it. So now on my smart controller, I could use that because they want the flight controller ID number. That's
Right.
how they figure it out.
Right.
They cleared you. So they got that information, and yeah, I guess when I'm ready to go fly over there, I just go into the actual app and hit the button, and it'll clear me to take off.
You have to go. You have to go into the unlock list
Yes.
in your app. Yeah.
Yes. The unlock licensing. It's already there, and then you just hit it, and then it activates it.
They're
Somebody said
supposed
it lasts for a year, but I don't know if that's true, or do I have to go in there and do
No,
I
there's
thought
a
they
time
only
period.
lasted for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Really?
My emergency COAs ended on a certain date. Like they figure out, even though they were for the hurricanes, they said it still dies on this date. And they'll give you an email. DJI will send you the email telling you that your COA is about to expire.
I
Yeah.
think DJI's geofencing is way off anymore. It seems to be getting worse.
It's like buying
They
a
said I
car
was
and having a
inside
government switch on it. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
If
Pardon
you're
me,
a 107 pilot, you're responsible. You're gonna, you know how much money I lose out when it's close to the airport. A lot of inquiries, and can't do it because it's so close, right?
You know, I can understand DJI's paranoia when it comes to the Walmart crowd buying these drones and playing with them. But when they're selling enterprise drones to professionals,
Right.
stay out of the geofencing business.
Yeah.
That's why professionals are flying it.
Hey,
They're
Jim,
the
I
ones that have to know, that should know and be responsible about where they fly in it.
Hey Jim, sorry to cut you off, Mitchell. Jim, if you were flying your M210 in the same scenario I was flying, does it have the same unlocking code? Would you have to go through the same thing?
Yeah, but I have wide area certificate of authorization, so I can fly at the airport up to 150 feet. But if it gets LAANC, because I don't have LAANC.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm talking about in terms of your bird, your drone, your M210.
Yeah.
Would it take off in the same scenario I was in yesterday?
Yeah.
Would it have taken off? Or would you have had to go through the same thing I went through using the Mavic 2 Pro?
What airspace were you in? What class?
I was in Class C airspace.
Then I would have to give them the certificate.
Okay.
They would
So
have
you
to have it.
unlock it. You
Nice.
have to go through the same process.
Even though it's an FAA document, I
Dude,
still have to go to
Evo 2 doesn't even have any geofencing. None. I could
But
take
you
off. I
You
could
still
take off
need
from
the
anywhere.
authorization.
Yeah, I have the authorization. That I have. I'm not worried about that. It's the fact that I didn't bring it back up. I've never done it through manually taking panoramic shots. That's my fault. Got to learn that, but I've never took the time to learn it because it's all automated on Mavic 2 Pro and all the Mavic series. So I just saved those DNG files in a separate folder and stitch them together in PT GUI. But the Evo 2 doesn't have that. So if I take the Evo 2, then I have to do the pano shots manually, using every third.
Dude, you're an insane. I'm going to email you, okay? There's software where you don't have to pay PixHawk and drone deploy and all that nonsense.
Hey,
Jim
Jim Wallace
Wallace
is here. How
Yeah, I
you
just
doing,
saw it.
stranger? Man.
Hey, Jim, I gotta bump out. Jeff Sills is calling.
Okay.
So,
Take care, Art.
See you, Art.
Take care. All right.
Rick told me to knock him out for a bit.
He said he'd be back.
Okay.
Jim Wallace, I have some pizza here from a couple of weeks ago if you want that.
What was the wide area of authorization?
Rumors of his death have been greatly exaggerated.
Yeah, Dan Dronepool is here too. How you doing?
Hey, drone pool. Jim Wallace. What's the wide area authorization Dre's talking about? Recovery 1.
That's what I have. It means any airspace in the airport's vicinity. Until I hit another airport or another airspace classification, I have authorization to fly. automatic authorization to fly.
But
Of
does
course.
DJI know? Does DJI's geofencing know that, or do
Well,
you have to
remember-
go in there? To,
Remember when I told you I was doing the emergency COA, Certificate of Authorities, Merritt Island? I'm flying Patrick Air Force Base, okay?
Yeah.
A military installation. But Merritt Island Grass Airfield came up as a warning zone that was going to bring my drone down.
yeah. Well, it's actually, Jim. They have a paved runway at Merritt Island, so that's big.
It's not towered, though, right?
No. It's just
That's like X-59 out in Valkyria.
untowered airport. Yeah, I've flown in and out of there a few times. You just announce yourself on the Unicom, and in you go.
Don't say
As long as
Unicom.
somebody's not going out on the Unicom.
Well, that's what Unicom is for. Is everybody talks to each other. You know.
I know. I was just teasing you.
Problem is, half of those people don't know where they are. They
right.
say I'm left downwind, and they're actually on a right crosswind or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. You
You
know?
mean that those guys won't play chicken with you?
Oh man.
But that's the guy, the real estate guy. He goes, "Oh my God, I gotta know these questions." I'm talking about a video from a real estate broker. He's very upset that he got reported to the FAA for flying commercially, and then he goes into the knowledge you have to fly drones and the Part 107. He's highly upset with this. His video is on our little channel there, and if will I get in trouble if I play it? Because we're commenting on it.
Yeah.
But that kind of makes it free. What do you call that?
Fair use.
Fair use.
Yeah, yeah, fair. I get if you're commenting on it, I think it would fall under fair use.
Because the whole point of the video is his indignation. Let's say.
Well, I understand that, because if my neighbor next door asks me to list their house for them and sell it by advertising and make a big commission, why should I have to know anything about real estate?
You're flying.
Why do I need a license? Why do I need to study all those dumb rules and regulations? I'm not doing anything other than just telling somebody this house is for sale and then give me a commission. You know, Jesus.
Yeah.
You're flying in the same airspace as manned aircraft. Number one.
No.
I'm just being facetious here. You know that.
And
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that. But
Yeah, for his profession, you need to be an expert, but for everybody else, you know.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Told me that somebody had called the FAA in Washington, D.C. Now, the people from the FAA who are calling me are out of the Orlando office, but they told me that somebody called Washington, D.C. FAA and reported me for flying without a drone license. Who knew you needed a drone license for a drone? But the FAA, notified me that I needed a drone license, which they call a Part 107 license now. And
Look at the date. This
said
is
I couldn't fly my
2020.
drone anymore until I got a license. So I've been working
June.
on studying for my drone license for close to a month now, and I'm getting ready to get my license. But so I just wanted to kind of produce this video because it just seems to me all this started happening when the fact that I was the World Equestrian Center, the Tether Center.
Jim, we could all see
I
that you gave
think
it a thumbs
where all
down.
this trouble started.
What was his comment?
From my YouTube channel.
He took down my comment.
There's a
No,
comment.
I think I've seen it up
And then
there.
my comments back to them that they commented to me about me flying my drone. So apparently Drones Unlimited is out there taking it upon themselves. They're not the FAA. I don't know who they think they are.
Who do we think
by
we are?
going around
I don't know,
looking
Jim.
at,
We should be ashamed of
video
ourselves,
channels.
don't you
I
think?
know. There's
And,
somebody that's monetizing
and then,
on YouTube and monetizing off your
commenting.
business.
You
I'm
damn
sure it's
Karens.
not just me. It has to be other people that they're contacting. But all of a sudden, they're the drone police.
We're the
And
drone
I
they
would have
feel
shut him
like
off
it
already
is
5
their
minutes ago.
obligation, and
Oh, it's funny
and
though.
they feel
What
like
was
I
Jim's
guess
comment?
it's their prerogative to go out.
His indignation
There's
of
no
what you
sense
have
in
to
taking
learn.
any video.
Here we go.
Everything that a regular pilot needs to know,
Not
because
quite.
they want to make sure that the drone pilot can understand what a
He's
real
really
pilot
pissed
is
off.
going through.
You're annoying
But
him now.
In essence, I'll show you just one of these sectional charts. Okay,
How many
so
views did he get on
here's a
this thing?
sectional chart. This is
Total of
airspace.
50 some.
What
Oh.
this has to do
Did he?
with
Didn't get
a drone pilot, I have no idea.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a real estate agent.
And that's the
I'm
problem
taking
right
pictures, I'm taking videos of farms and land.
Exactly.
I'm nowhere near an
And there's the
airport.
problem. He has no idea.
My drone wouldn't even fly in an airport area without special permission. It comes up.
Is
You're
there
in
like,
a,
what planes are going to
restricted
fly
area,
at 400 feet?
and unless I got special
Helicopters?
permission, like I
Yeah.
did get special permission to fly over
Anyway,
the world.
you get the
Yeah,
idea.
thank you, man. I had to listen to any more of that guy. I would have slit my throat.
He's got 27 thumbs up and 26 thumbs down. That gets you an idea.
That
Well,
was nice to him.
he's the same guy that if he found out somebody sold a house without a real estate license, would be
Exactly.
hiring 3 attorneys and
He'd live
marching
it.
on the state capitol to report them to the real estate people.
Oh, you betcha. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if you
Hey.
listen further on in the video, he talks about how years ago he actually started taking his pilot's license. He started going to school for it. So he started taking classes. He talked about how he has his brokerage license, how he has his construction license, his general contractor's license. And he's going on with all these licenses. And I'm going, well, excuse my French people, you dumbass, you didn't research then. If you researched all that and knew about it, you should have
Yeah.
checked about that when you registered that drone. So obviously he probably didn't even have his drone registered either.
No, probably not, because he probably bought it at Walmart.
yeah, I mean, if you didn't know any of the rules, then I'm sure he did. You have the right to conduct your time, skill, labor as you see fit. Is that what he says? He was very pissed at us for having these arbitrary rules. He was like, what do I need to know about the weather for? Well, do you even know what a storm cloud is, you idiot? You know.
I hear
I
there's
do
I
have
hear
to agree
there's
with
great
them on that one, Joe.
Yeah, but
Well-
it's there for the average 6th grader or the average 16-year-old is allowed to fly a drone, right? Legally. So they have to talk down and teach to that guy who didn't pay any attention in earth science, probably failed it and got passed on to 8th grade because the teacher didn't want him anymore. He doesn't know a cumulus cloud from a clear day and what that means to air density and all that other stuff. Ring vortex? What the hell's that?
Wind, tower. Oh, the best part is the towers. Oh, and then they have pictures of towers. They want you to know about towers so you can be careful about flying around towers. Well, don't you think you should be?
Don't you want to know how high they are before you hit them? Oh, that's beautiful. Matt,
Well,
Yeah.
a week.
let's see that big, beautiful son of a gun you got there.
oh well.
Not you.
Is he spraying the NFL stadiums?
That's his sprayer. Look at
That would be
thing.
a negative. Unfortunately, I'm caught in red tape still. I've done a few things for herbicides, insecticides. However, this would really come in handy. I'm stuck in rules, trying to get a workaround for it to use a chemical called, I don't know if you can see it there, mosquito mist. But as you may or may not know, the label on any of the chemicals is the law. So you have to follow that to the letter. Unfortunately, this chemical mosquito mist, which is actually permethrin, calls for atomizing nozzles, which, if you don't know, there's only one drone that has atomizing nozzles in it, and it's really expensive. And I'm not going to buy it just so that I can spray down a little bit of mosquito stuff.
You don't have a strong enough pump to put atomizing nozzles on there?
Atomizers, in the sense, were in the, how do I want to say this? In the interpretation of the label,
Right.
they have to be an actual spinning atomizing nozzles to get particle sizes below, I think I have to be between 115 and 60 microns. So currently I'm set up with something that will get me 250 to 500 microns. So
Hey, Matt, are you flying? Is that the Argus?
no, this is actually the TTA M6E. And I think you mean the AHRS, AHRS.
AHRS, yes.
DJI is not the only drone.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few agricultural drones that are out there. And there's only a couple dealers here in the United States that deal with, one, the AHRS, which one is RMUS, RMUS. I'm sure there are other distributors.
That's my dealer, Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems.
Yep. I'm sure there are other dealers out there that can supply people with the AHRS, but there's only one other that will actually supply the TTA style drone, which it's actually been, I mean, I'm not 100% satisfied with it, but I haven't been satisfied with any of my drones. I mean, really. But for what I've put it through so far, thumbs up. I can't really complain, short of dealer support. Dealer support is absolutely horrible, because when the purchaser of a drone knows more about the drone than the dealer of the drone, that's a problem.
I wholeheartedly agree. And that came to light for me when I had my drone problem. And I think they didn't even know that these things have internal serial numbers. Because
at one point on mine, you guys all know everything runs on some kind of firmware, the base programming for how everything operates, right? Right. Everybody knows that. Well, TTA put out a firmware update for this particular drone, first advertised, but it was for future software that was supposed to be put out that bricked the machine. I couldn't do anything with it. It wouldn't fire up. It wouldn't do anything but blinky blinky. I called TTA in China. I called my distributor. Neither one of them could tell me exactly which two pins on the board were the bootloader. If you've ever done anything with any FPV quad or any other put together yourself quad, you have a couple of pins for a bootloader, so you can force it to take a new firmware. Mitch, I'm pretty sure you know all about that stuff.
actually, the only time I used the bootloader was to help out my DirecTV selection.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Every FPV flight controller has either two pins or a button. Most of them come with little buttons right now and make it easier.
This doesn't have a button. They wanted me to send it back to China so they could reload the firmware. So I had to
flash the firmware. Oh.
So I had to go poking, and thankfully I found the two pins that were the bootloader and was able to get the firmware re-uploaded, and I was fine. But since then, now anytime I have a question for my dealer about this thing, and I start throwing all these terms at them about this, that, and the other, they're like, what? What do you mean props? It doesn't have props.
This is what happens when you buy parts and put them together, right?
Well, no, I bought this as a whole, ready to go.
I know you, but I mean, the companies like there's a bunch of other companies that are not worth naming. Mm-hmm. They're buying parts and putting them together. Putting T-motors on them and N3 controllers from DJI and somebody else's ESCs.
Yep.
And then they don't know what the hell went wrong.
Hey, Matt, how much did you pay for that rig? And do you have a backup to that rig?
I do not have a backup. The drone itself, not counting all of the extras, batteries, chargers, all that kind of stuff, was about $8,000. The full package, around 15, give or take, a little north of that.
But you had some background in pesticides before flying.
Yeah,
right?
I've been a pesticide applicator for years.
Okay.
Most of my professional career. It just happened to be that I was doing some work for our local crop duster, and he knew that I was a drone pilot. Saw some of my work before and said, "Hey, don't you know that that's a thing?" I said, "No, it's not." He goes, "Yeah, it is. You might want to look into it." And that's what started this whole thing. Well, getting to now that I'm through the whole thing, certifications, insurance, all that stuff, letting all the proper agencies in the state know that I'm doing what I'm doing, I am held to the label. And unfortunately, they take it as stereo instructions instead of recommendations, which is how it reads. So I'm kind of stuck right there. For some of the herbicides, now, of course, you all know that every pesticide, regardless of what it is, an insecticide, a herbicide, fungicide, whatever it might be, they all have a label, of course, and the label explains on how you should apply it at what rate.
Right.
If the label says I have to put something down at 1.5 ounces per 1,000 square feet, that's my labeled rate. But if it also says that application needs to be done at 15 gallons per acre, if this makes sense,
Right.
I'm only 2.5 gallons on this guy.
So you got some math to do.
Got some math to do, but the way I have it set up now, for what I have it calibrated for most effective for myself and for my clientele, is about 60,000 square feet, about an acre and a third. Okay, so I can get a lot of acreage done, but I'm not putting it down at the 15 gallons per acre for many of the herbicides that are out there. So I'm not going to say I fudged the numbers any, but I'm pushing the envelope as far as the labels concerned. But I have
Don't the material data safety sheets go further than the stupid label and tell you any further application requirements or leniencies?
Well, the MSDS is mostly about impacts on people, animals, things like that, what to do in case of an emergency. The label itself that's actually on the product is what's going to give you all the information that you need as far as application.
So your basic problem is it was never intended to be sprayed from a drone.
Right. So the last conversation I had with the Ohio Department of Agriculture about mosquito spraying in particular, I'm limited to a chemical that's called malathion. If you don't know what malathion is, you more than likely have been sprayed by it at some point in your life. It has been used as an insecticide for mosquitoes for many, many years. It's been phased because it's pretty nasty. It's been phased out over the years and not so commercially used. I mean, they still use it, don't get me wrong, but it's the only one that doesn't have a labeling restriction as far as size of droplets, which is where I'm caught at right now.
I'm perfectly okay.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm stuck at this point. That and the whole COVID thing, most insurance companies have been paying out for crop loss for weeds. So that's kind of cut down my business as far as this goes. And any other crop duster out there, as a matter of fact. I mean, if you don't know, corn is still trading at about $3 a bushel. And most farmers that planted corn anywhere in the United States right now are taking about $100 per acre loss unless that price comes up. And more than likely, it's not going to come up. So it's been tough, but it's been fun.
Time to make some moonshine.
So who has to actually grant you the permission to spray? Does that come from the FDA? Because the drone's only the FDA.
Well, that's a complicated question. I don't need anybody's permission to do whatever I do at all, unless the only time I need someone's permission is if I'm flying in a congested area. So if I'm near a town, like really close, like the next street over is like a set of 10 houses.
Okay.
I'm doing it for a municipality. So if I'm flying for a municipality spraying Tordon or Roundup or whatever it might be, I have to get approval from the FAA first. I have to submit a plan, what I'm going to do, and if I need to ditch, where I'm going to ditch at, basically. Real simple. No, it's not complex at all. I send in a flight plan. They'll say, you're good, or no, let's augment, let's change this one way or the other, and it's easy.
Here's my only problem with that. If you wait 20 minutes, you might hear the fogger truck go by that drives around here fogging up the area to kill the mosquitoes.
Well, that's one method of application. Now, what that's intended for, there is no residual to a fogger, okay?
Right.
And the fogger runs through your town or wherever you might be at. I know you're in Florida, so you see them guys all the time. So they run through, and everything that's in the air at that particular time is dead. Everything, every mosquito, every fly, everything that it has got a very thin skin, as you were. So mosquitoes, flies, horseflies, gnats, things like that, all going to drop out of the sky. But as soon as the breeze comes along and carries that off, that's all gone, and it's no longer effective. Now, my argument for the chemical company that makes permethrin, which permethrin is one of those same ones that they'll use to fog in a neighborhood. My argument's going to be, well, if we can get it relabeled, if you guys can go through that whole submission process, which is a lot for ask for one drone pilot doing this, for a company to go through that whole process through the EPA to get it labeled differently, because I'm flying basically a backpack sprayer. And permethrin through a backpack sprayer has about a 2-week residual. So you spray it on a tree, you spray it on a bush, and the mosquito lands on it, they pick up a little bit of it, and they die. In the fogging application, not much of it sticks around. The sunlight usually dries it up, takes care of it pretty quickly, and you only get that night of control. But in a barrier control applications, which is what I want to do, you get a couple few weeks. So which is better, a one-time kill or kill over a week? So I'll just have to wait for the chemical company to do that.
Matt, I have a question. I remember seeing you on here, oh gosh, weeks or months ago, and sounds like you were still running into the same issues. Mike, I guess just a basic overall question. Are you finding that purchasing the money that you put into this drone, is it going to be worth it? It sounds like you've had a lot of roadblocks.
There are a lot of roadblocks. My biggest roadblock, beyond chemical labels, beyond, the ODA, the Ohio Department of Agriculture, the FAA here, they're all behind me. They all want me to succeed. They're all going to do what it takes for me to get there. It's just getting education out there, getting the people that want to purchase my service educated on the benefits or the shortcomings of it, and then it'll start to open up. Because most of the farmers that I've talked to this point, they're like, it's a gimmick. And yeah, to a point, it is. But even the big crop dusting outfits that are out there are starting to really buy into it. I mean, the few guys that I do work, I talk to quite a few times throughout every month. Some guys in Texas, some guys in Seattle, all over the country. Rantizio, for one. If you guys haven't heard of those, look them up.
Well, I told you the guys in Jersey were using, 4 years ago, they were using pellets, dropping pellets from a drone into the standing pond water, etc.
Yeah. And that chemical is known as BT, Bacillus I don't know. They name this crap so you can't pronounce it.
Right.
But it's a larvicide. And it's something that occurs naturally. So there's no real licensing required for that. I mean, other than if you're flying over 55 pounds, which of course, you need, which the FAA thankfully made that super difficult, if you didn't know. So it's easier for a company, a guy like myself, to go for a multi-drone or a swarm waiver.
There's a new drone that came out that can hold 110 kilograms.
Oh yeah, if your pockets are deep, you can buy a drone as big as a plane if you want. I mean, shoot, the American government has all kinds of them, flying them around.
Matt, what's the flight time on yours?
Unloaded about 20 minutes, give or take, and loaded about 10, 12 minutes.
So imagine how much weight and sloshing around.
How many acres do you cover in that time? Probably about a half, more than an acre.
Well, yeah, depending on how I have it set up. I mean, I can cover quite a bit of ground in a pretty short amount of time, of course, because limited by speed. But if I'm trying to push that envelope of an application rate per acre or per thousand, then I have to slow it down and speed it up, if that makes sense. and then droplet size is a big key. So,
Wow.
you know, I keep a pretty good selection of different nozzles with me in case I have to swap out for different droplet sizes, different applications, you know, different winds, you know, the way I have it set up now is for an acre and a third, 60,000 square feet. And that's a pretty good even keel as far as putting down enough water with the chemical for the area to make it efficient, because I charge by the hour and not by the acre.
Hey, Jim, I'm going to drop out so you have room for some more of these people. And I'll be watching, but I feel the need to go out and sit and smoke a cigar. So, guys, take it easy.
See you,
Care,
man.
Mitch.
Take care,
I'll be
Mitch.
watching. I'll be
Enjoy the
watching the
cigar.
chat, and see you all next time.
Enjoy
Yeah.
that stogie.
How in God's green earth did you figure out how to charge hourly instead of by acre?
Jim, with any business, charge what you want, charge what you're worth.
Yeah, you have to value yourself first. True.
So I roll up on a farm. See, the reason why I went with the per hour is because usually everybody, like you guys, always have a boatload of questions. So if Farmer Brown wants to talk my ear off for a couple hours before I start work, I have no problems with that at all. And I haven't covered not one single acre yet. They don't like the bill when it comes, but yeah, my time's valuable, you know.
That's smart.
If I were to go out and say, you know, I can do about 30 acres, it'll cost about $1,000 for about 30 acres, which is pretty on point with any other application method with, you know, fixed wing aerial, rotorcraft, or boom sprayers. You know, it's about the same either way. But as soon as they want to ask all these questions about this, that, and the other, about the process, about this, and, you know, just Googling the drone and equipment, you know, their price just keeps going up, you know. And it's not that I don't want to educate them. And I give some leeway, of course. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm like, well, talk my ear off. I'm just going to keep charging you.
I don't want to educate them. I don't want them buying their own.
Right.
What a learning curve. I mean, it's tremendous knowledge you need to have in order to do that stuff.
Now,
And it's
remember,
obviously you had a career before you started flying the drone.
Yeah.
he
So
went through
that's
2
huge.
years of certification process before any of this crap.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Down to yeah. Do you find you had mentioned, you know, you're charging by the hour, and are you going to be able to find that what you do with a drone versus, you know, we see the ag planes here all the time, and those guys haul butt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they cover 10 times the territory in a quarter of the time.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what their pricing is. I'm kind of curious because one of my pilots I fly with does that on the side, and I'm curious, you know, what would be the price versus what you're doing with the drone versus him in a plane, you know.
As best I can tell, my local crop dusters are between $15 and $20 per acre. Okay. Now again, an 802 air tractor can do, oh God, you know, 3,000 acres a day, if not better.
Right.
So they're cranking out some serious money when it comes to that, but they can't get to everything. That's where I come in. Those little 10, 15, 20 acre tracts that farmers just, I'll just let them go and I'll get what I get. Well, now they have the ability to have them treated the same way and get the same.
I see.
So it's not the same. I am not going to replace any crop duster anytime soon. That's not the point until the technology comes up to such a level that, you know, I can have 40 of these in the back of a semi truck and pull up and push a button and it does its thing. It's coming.
So you're not taking on the multi-thousand acre jobs then?
No, I would never want to. As a matter of
you'd
fact,
be out there for days.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the pilots that I work that I talk with quite often that's down in Texas that treats for boll weevils. He's struggling to do 70 acres a day with one drone.
Wow.
So
Matt, what what state are you in?
I'm in Ohio.
Ohio. That's why I thought. Okay. So yeah, mostly corn.
Corn and beans.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I thought. Here in Colorado, it's mostly corn, wheat, milo, sugar beets in certain areas. We've got cantaloupes down the southeast part of the state. Yeah. Peaches on the west slope.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we have the most common thing is corn and beans. Of course, we have those few hemp farms that are popping up here and there. We have a few tomato farms. There's all kinds of different things, but the biggest thing around here is corn and beans, mostly beans. This year in particular because corn's so daggone cheap.
So do the hemp farmers? Do they come up? Hey, dude, how much you spray my crop, man?
I've only had the opportunity to talk with one or two. There's not very many here in the state yet because, of course, while it has been legalized. It's one of those things that unless you have a gob of money and a gob of time to put into it, you're not going to be a huge hemp farmer right off the bat. So it's big corporations that are coming in and starting small little things here and there. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to hemp in general, it would be more micronutrients for the plant, of course.
Right.
It's for the fibers and not for the.
Yeah. Well, here in Denver, it just seems like we've got grow facilities all over the city. And it's like, well, you could tell when you're driving by one.
Well, anywhere in that state, you can tell.
The ones in Florida were already dished out in 2014 as to who was going to be able to farm and not farm it. I found that amazing.
Yeah.
Hi, Dan.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Dan.
I've actually been sitting back there a while. Jim was probably not wanting to show my soldering, and I was modifying a long-range drone drop deploy system for some upcoming videos. So I was trying to amplify some range without having to plug it actually into the quad. So that's a weird one.
Cool.
Yeah. So good
hey
times.
guys, I
Jim.
apologize for it being so shaky because I'm just on my cell phone.
It's not bad.
You're doing fine.
It sucks, Drone Strike. Don't ever do that to us again.
I'll try.
All right.
Now he's going to do it just to aggravate you, Dan.
Exactly. That's my OCD. Will get the best of me. Al, Art, Dennis,
What's
Jim,
up, man?
Matt.
You almost shoot your eye out with those BBs on that.
I'm
Mavic
just getting
Mini.
started, bro. I will have a Christmas story where I take my eye out with a chicken nugget. That's what's coming next.
Hey,
I have a whole list of fun stuff.
Matt, my drone made it back to Rocky Mountain Unmanned Systems.
Did they get it fixed?
Yeah, but I just have one little tiny problem with it. I don't know whose drone it is since it doesn't have my my numbers on it.
Well, does it fly?
I don't know. They've got it.
Oh.
But the serial numbers don't match my drone, so I'm getting someone else's drone, and you know the cost.
Yeah.
And they don't guarantee or warranty their work.
All right, now here's some fun stuff, Jim. I had something prepared for you, buddy. You want to do a quick search real fast?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Look up the BOM Aeronautics Information Telemetry.
What is it? Talk.
So they're making it extremely simple now for airplanes and aircraft, actual airplanes and aircraft, to adapt drone-related sync technology. And it's very affordable. It'll probably be something that'll be pushed in here pretty quick. So I'm watching the leaps and bounds of ADS-B taking place in the background right now and seeing how these companies are actually doing some very shady under-the-wire work that's taking place that hopefully the drone people didn't recognize was happening. But they're making this an extremely affordable thing for actual manned aircraft to be able to detect drones.
Yep.
So yeah, you should look into the BOM system. It's
To
in,
be able to do what? Attack?
detect drones, not just
Detect.
detect them, but get all the information from the pilot while they're flying.
Yep.
It seems like there's a ton of stuff. Actually, I was reading up about this today. I just kind of came across it, and I thought you'd have fun with this topic. Maybe you want to do a little more research yourself, but it's not just for drones. It's designed to be a whole in case you have instrument cluster failure on your aircraft. But if this is something that gets pushed to a point where actual manned aircraft has to have it for drone detection, I have a feeling this is going to take off pretty fast because it's so affordable.
And it will. And it should.
Yeah.
I mean, rightfully it should. There are people out there that are flying drones that shouldn't be, that are pushing
Yes,
the envelope where they shouldn't be.
Mhm.
A little bit experience in that realm, of course. I use AirMap to, just take the general area whenever I do something with the big drone. I had one pilot coming in. Now, of course, if you ever used AirMap before, you know that it shows you traffic in the vicinity. I had a twin-engine Cessna coming in. He was about 5,500 feet. He dropped down to about 1,400 feet and circled the field that I was in.
I hate that.
Okay, I'm flying 15 feet off the ground. Now, of course, it's pretty good size. You can see it, He flew and he circled the field that I was in and then flew off on his merry way. I thought, that was kind of odd. Guess what happened? He reported me. Guess who the only one in the state can do this?
Legally.
It wasn't hard for him to find me.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, even using AirMap, because when you use AirMap, they can see you, they can see who you are, they can see what you're flying. You put all that information in there anyhow, so when they come in, they get curious, they're going to come and look at. Now, for most general photography drones, anything that you're going to use AirMap for. Now, I know you're not going to do it for any FPV or anything like that. Of course, any race drones, you probably should, but who's going to do that? You're going to get pilots that are going to be curious, and most of them are not like super happy with drones, especially great big huge ones. They could definitely take their plane out of the sky.
I've had a Cessna fly over a field, and when I went to change batteries, I actually couldn't take off because he would stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And the farmer in the area was pissed because it was annoying his cows.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about ADS-B, which, everybody loves on their drones. It's been out for several years. There's 24 numbers to it. You don't get all those numbers on your drone screen. You're getting a few numbers on there. So they may be able to, I don't know exactly what they can get from us on our side of it, but we can't track them.
So I actually posted the link in the private chat because I'm not on a regular eBay or YouTube. If you want to take that and share it with everybody, the company that makes it is Level Aviation, Leviel Avi. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but they're doing some very leaps and boundish stuff here for actual manned aircraft when it comes to drone detection. Now, they're not releasing a ton of the stuff that they have coming, but I will warn you, like I said, this is something that you can probably see a lot more affordability in the drone market here. It looks like Jim's going to drop out to research that a little bit. You guys will, like I said, it's something you really should look into here because this means that they are making some serious preparation for this stuff to be pushed through. And, that's something to consider when buying new drones.
Guys,
Hey, Matt.
So you guys all know, I mean, it's totally the whole, everything they've been talking about, it's going to happen. They want control over the NAS, plain and simply. There is no matter how many comments we submit, some form of control will happen.
Yeah. Matt, that guy that turned you in, based on what you're describing, it sounds like he might have been violating a few noise abatement laws as far as aviation.
Out here where I'm at, no. I mean, he didn't. I'm in Class E, or I'm in Class G. He wasn't doing anything that he wasn't allowed to do. I mean, out here, I mean, directly across from me. Here, I'll show you. And what this was actually the field that I was flying in. Is a 30-acre. And you might not be able to see it because of light, but 30 acres of nothing but beans.
But still, you got homes
around here. Still homes, but I mean, our local crop dusters are constantly, I mean, especially because they know where I live, they buzz my house every time they're this way, like tires screeching off the roof. And they can do it.
You got to get a drink.
And there's not much anybody can do. Of course, local law enforcement can't do it.
Right.
Because we're all Class G out here. So one of the things about it is, you know, Ron, you're a pilot. You're a true pilot, correct? Private pilot?
No, I'm a paramedic. I work on a no, I'm a paramedic. I work on helicopters and airplanes, though.
Oh, I thought you were a pilot. But anyhow, they can make reports anonymously, just like we all can.
Right.
And they have to be investigated. Every single one has to be investigated. So when the report was made that day, when he got to wherever he was going and he landed and called into whoever it was, I got a call from my handler at the time at the FAA, and he goes, "Matt, what were you doing?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, I just got a report from a pilot about a very large drone flying over a field in your neck of the woods." And I said, "Well, that was me." He goes, "You weren't doing anything wrong, were you?" I said, "I was 15 feet off the ground. I was not in any way, shape, or form impeding in his whatever he was doing." And he goes, you have your logs to back that up." And I said, "Well, of course I do. You want to come and get them, or I can send them to you. Anything you want." He goes, "No, I don't think we have to. I think it's just a pilot's a little more curious than what he should have been." He goes, "So I'm gonna call this closed, but just know that this is going to be a constant thing for you." And I said, "Oh, great. That's all I need is, you know." Most of my local pilots here, especially my crop dusting pilots, they know me. I usually call them and let them know where I'm going to be flying. So that's all good. It's just those few that are going to be flying in low that look at their ADS-B map. They see a little blip on there that says 55-pound ag drone. They're going to get curious.
Yeah. I still don't, you know, unless he had authorization or some type of a waiver to be coming down and, like you said, flying 50 feet off the ground, you know, buzzing around houses and stuff.
Oh, no. He wasn't that low. He got down to maybe 1,400 feet. He got down low enough to where he could see it a little bit better. I mean, he didn't come down below the 700 foot mark. So yeah, if that would have happened, I would have been calling.
I was going to say, I thought you said he was a lot lower than that. I'm sorry, didn't hear you correctly.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's called 500 feet above populated areas and residential areas and businesses, technically, except on an approach in and out of an airport. Unless you have a special waiver for doing what you need to do for, like, in the days before drones, you know, photographing a construction site where you may be around other homes and everything like that.
Yeah, and you're going to get that, Matt. We get it all the time in the helicopter. I don't know how many times we've landed at an accident scene on the highway or, you know, whatever, and people are like, "Oh, that helicopter was buzzing around my house." Yeah, that was an emergency situation too. Yeah, and they call the cops. Cops usually blow it off and just tell them, "Get back in your house and shut up. You know, this is an emergency situation." But
right,
yeah,
which
you're gonna have that.
You know, if I'm out flying, 4 or 5 pilots, you know, make a report, and somebody from one of the news stations out here picks up on it, and then I'm on the news. Hey, mission accomplished.
Yeah,
we're going to be flying in their airspace. There's no possible way. And if I'm 15 feet off the ground, I'm not landing the damn thing for a Cessna that's flying over at 1,200 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like on 4th of July, we had, you know, here in California, you know, they've taken away fireworks from most counties throughout California. So it's only strictly by, you know, cities and counties have the fireworks display. Well, due to the pandemic, everything was shut down. Yahoo's over here on the hillside, they sat there and started launching fireworks off. And I was doing a sunset flight down across our harbor, and fireworks go over. Guess what? Started a fire in the canyon. So I was sitting there coming, and I was flying my new Mavic 2 Air 2 drone. So I'm picking up the signal off the aircraft. The ATSB is picking it up. And so but it was the police helicopter that we have. We have 2 here in the county of Orange. And so it picked it up and I could hear it coming. So I was up in the air. I brought it down to like only about 100 feet, which I have trees around me, which are over 100 feet, but I could still see where the smoke was. And he was flying around and I brought it down even lower when he came over towards the house. But there is a benefit to it, but sometimes it's a pain in the butt too.
Yeah, this is that thing. This is how easy they've made it to attach to aircraft to do all that fun detection for drone stuff that they're implementing. I saw a video today on Facebook from that company that was talking about what their efforts are going to do to make it easier for drone detection. So even though they're not really talking about too much of it on their actual page, it is definitely something they're aware of and they're trying to heavily implement into their software. So this will be interesting to see how far this goes.
Imagine if you could upgrade to a state-of-the-art cockpit without putting a single wire. Meet the BOM. The Broadcasting Outer Module is the all-in-one avionics suite you've been waiting for.
I love the name.
This aerodynamic innovation easily adapts to your aircraft and is designed to record and stream crucial flight information wirelessly. The BOM incorporates an angle of attack indicator, secondary source of pitot data, aviation-grade AHRS technology capable of driving synthetic vision displays, WAS GPS for all of your navigation needs, and an optional dual-band ADS-B receiver for weathering traffic. The BOM turns on with a few quick taps or the vibration of a running engine. Let the cluttered cockpit days be over. The BOM's smart patented design uses the incoming stream of air to power itself and charge the internal battery. All antennas and sensors are built in, reducing the number of portable devices that obstruct the pilot's view, augmenting your flight experience and comfort. With its NORCE approval, the BOM can be mounted on any light sport, experimental, and certified aircraft.
That's pretty
Interesting,
amazing.
huh?
Yeah. My question is how much?
Yeah. Well, if you own an airplane, I assume you could probably buy one if needed.
Well, I know for my friend who builds and rebuilds airplanes, that's all he's done all his whole entire life.
Mm-hmm.
For him to put his ADS-B transmitter on, it was called remove the starboard light off the end of the wing, put it out, run it through, ran the cable in, wired it up, and that was it.
Yeah.
Just replacing the light and put it right back in.
Guys, I got to drop out. Have a nice evening.
See you,
Take care, Ron. Be safe.
Take care,
Heading
Ron.
to work. So we will see you all next time.
Alrighty, be safe out there.
All right, man.
You know, the amount of money that's being spent right now between NASA and the FAA and all these companies that are getting the venture capital to create an unmanned traffic management system for the 40,000 pilots that are RPICs in the FDOT database. Why couldn't they just create a system where they could actually see at 400 feet and below? That's the only reason why ADS-B is banned for drones and all of this is because the FAA does not have the capabilities to see from 0 to 400 feet.
And which is true. The other part is like the manufacturers of the drones, they have the ability to give the FAA that information. They do. Because if you don't think DJI knows exactly when and where you're flying and how you're flying, how fast, how high, what you're taking pictures of, you're kidding yourself. That information could be available to the FAA. But because this is the United States, there's more red tape than anybody wants to have to deal with. So they're trying to find other ways to do that.
Plus the cost. Do you realize what the cost would that be across the nation in order to detect less than 400 feet?
You know how much money you're spending now?
I thought there was companies that could identify UUIDs from transmitters at this very moment in certain parts of the nation.
Yep.
Is that true?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Even if you turn it off, it doesn't matter.
Well, if you turn it off, of course, they'll know when and where it was turned off until it's turned on again. I mean, just like your cell phone that everybody has. They know what you're doing. They know when you scratch your nuts, for God's sake. Like, just do yourself a favor one time. Talk about something that you've never talked about before in your entire life, and then get on your Google or Facebook feed and tell me what kind of advertisements you see.
Exactly.
And tell me they're not listening.
It's crazy. Adrian
Mateo.
What's going on, Jim?
He's got his own. He's wearing his own swag shirts. Look at that. Adrian Mateo Drones.
How you doing out there?
So that's number 2 new shirt? Number 3?
3.
3 different models?
Pretty much.
The girlfriend got them for you? This one too?
No, this one, my kids actually made it for me.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Oh, baby. Say hi to Jim.
Hey, Jim.
How did you like the other part of the country?
I love it and I miss it.
Oh, that's honest.
Nice.
How you doing, Drone Strike?
That's Matt. Matt has the sprayer drones.
Good to see you, man. Dan, get your fingers out of your mouth, sir.
Why is Adrian's pushing people out of his picture? Did you see that?
How you doing, Dennis Love Lady? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Adrian. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little tired, but I'll be all right.
What are you about to eat in front of us? I know you're about to eat. What's good?
Don't worry about it, fat boy. I'm about to eat right now.
So,
Shut up,
Adrian,
meatball.
Why do you have an X target on your forehead?
That's 2 eagles. You guys keep thinking there's a target. It's 2 eagles right here.
Well, raise your camera a little bit. We can see it. Stop wearing hats that are taller than your head.
These are 2 eagles right here.
Okay.
No, it is not a Malcolm X hat. No, it's not. I don't like those.
What are you eating, fat boy? Let's see it.
I'm eating some
TV
meatballs,
dinner.
some macaroni.
What kind of macaroni?
I mean pasta. I'm sorry, pasta.
Uh-huh.
Poppy, water, please. You don't want your daddy to choke? Thank you.
Slinging orders like cash over there. What are you, a restaurant?
I mean, remember the whole time they were not here, I was lonely. Now I got my 2 babies back. Now you can have a bunch of them. Give me this, give me that. Come here, come down, screaming.
Right.
The whole works.
Got your slaves back. Get to work, minions.
You
Lackey.
damn right.
See you, Art. Have a good night.
Oh, gosh.
See you later, Art.
Take care, Art.
Hey, Dre's here. Drop him in there. What's up, Dre?
Hey, Dre.
How you doing, Dre Crawford?
Can't hear you, man.
We can't hear you, buddy.
Darn apple.
He sounds like a chipmunk.
It's messing you up, man. I can actually hear you in the background.
Oh, no.
He's going to try that again. Is that your noise, Adrian?
So what now?
Is that your ice machine?
Yeah, my son is getting me some water.
Is this better now?
No, we can't hear you.
Can't hear me at all?
Not at
Yes,
all.
it is.
Sound like a chipmunk?
No, not at all. None of us can hear you.
Well, that's special.
Um,
Let me figure this thing out.
Oh,
Says
we
it's
can
supposed
hear
to be
you, man. You're
working.
good.
Oh, okay.
Don't mess. I was just kidding. You asked a question. I didn't think you'd really take me serious because you asked and then I answered immediately.
Okay. Okay.
Hey, Jay, by the way, I got your email. Sorry that I didn't reply to you right away, but I got the email you sent me, and I'm glad that you figured it out.
Oh, not a problem. Not a problem. So what are we on to? Last one, I take my youngest to work. So last thing I heard we were talking about was Al's problem with the airport getting LAANC to work or whatever. What did I miss?
And then we talked about Matt uses a spraying drone. That's Matt from Drone Strike in the top right corner there.
Oh, okay.
And he's got, well, he went through 2 years of certification for that. And now he's got the battle of being able to fly or spray the pesticides in accordance with the manufacturer and with the powers that be locally, I guess, right, Matt?
Okay.
Boil it down, that's all it is.
Dre, did you make that video yet? I know you were going to.
There's a video I put out called DJI Keeping Secrets. I put out the other day about them on the latest update on the Maverick 2 Pro. Stop it, Dan. You mess with me, dude. I'm old.
I'm the guy to talk to about secrets. I love this stuff.
No, but what happened on the update on July 7th, DJI put out an update and everybody been talking about how it was supposed to be for better connection, distance, everything else. But what DJI didn't put out is that the update for the Maverick 2 Pro 1B controller makes it compatible now with the Epson BT300 glasses. And DJI kept it under wraps on purpose because they no longer want to be affiliated with Epson BT300 glasses.
All right, so say that one more time. The BT300s.
The BT300s are now compatible with the Maverick 2 Pro 1B controller.
All right, that's a $200 savings because for the BT35E, they want $900.
Right. Yeah.
Which is compatible across the board with anything HDMI or USB-C.
Right. Yeah. So DJI kept this on the wraps. I found out about it through one of the Epson Facebook pages, and he got it from, he said, was one of the higher ups in DJI gave him the information, but he could not prove if it worked. So I had both controllers, and I spent better about an hour and a half updating both controllers to make sure everything I had was up to date. And when I did the two different updates on the 1B controller, it worked perfectly with the Epson Moverio BT300 glasses.
Who was it just the other day was talking about a big problem they had? Wasn't it you, Jim, with the BT300s? Jim's not on camera anymore, I just realized. But somebody just recently was talking about they almost had a crash, or they did have a crash because of the BT300.
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm disappointed, man. I thought you were about to, like, tell me the deepest, darkest secrets of DJI, like you worked for them undercover and all that. Like, I was waiting for the layout.
If I were for DJI, it'd be international incident.
Dre, you busted Dan's bubble.
Oh,
I'm telling you, man.
He's going to go sleepless tonight because of this now.
All the information I could have had didn't. Yeah.
But that was the whole deal because, like I said, I hadn't heard anybody put out a word about this online. A lot of folks been doing videos on the new range thing, and I know a lot of guys, especially over in Europe, they talked about the extra distance they were getting with the new update. But nobody mentioned a word about this making it compatible with the Epson Moverio glasses.
Tomas was right. There's a lot of background noise from someone.
That big.
Let that stop.
Went away.
And that was me. They got a police chase going on here in LA.
Oh, how unusual. I saw a police chase. It was just posted by a friend of mine the other day, but it was actually from May of 2019. A lady was driving an RV, and she had apparently she'd taken stolen 2 dogs. And she was running away in this RV, and it was like a 30-minute chase. Maybe it wasn't 30 minutes. It was long.
Yeah, it was. I remember that.
And by the time it was all said and done, she'd crashed into at least 2 other vehicles. She'd torn off the right-hand side of the RV completely with a palm tree. Just incredible chase. I didn't watch the whole thing. I skipped through it, but even what I saw was just amazing.
Yeah. Well, here in LA, what Dre is saying, if you watch Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 5, which are the main network TVs here, you'll see a chase on there at least once a day they're going to be taping it because there's nothing to report. So the next thing you knew is you watch the whole 30-minute broadcast. They're still chasing after that car.
All right, guys, I'm going to step off so I can barbecue. You guys take care. Matt, great information. Thank you, everyone. Jim, thank you. Everybody in chat, take care. We'll talk to you
Nice
guys
see
later.
you. Bye-bye.
All right, later.
Hey, Dre, Scott owns those BT300s. I don't know. He's saying the Android app sucks. Is that because he had to download the DJI Go 4 app to it? With the BT35Es, I know what he's saying. You don't have to use it, but it's $700 for the BT300s or $900 for the BT35Es. That's a hell of a lot of difference just to be able to use HDMI and USB-C to use it universally on any system, even FPV.
Somebody want cranberry juice?
It's good for your kidneys.
Yeah. So's Corona.
You have
Have you
the
had-
Corona, I'll have the cranberry.
Okay.
Dre, have you used them with the Android?
Yeah,
Yes.
the device itself is Android based, so that's what he's talking about. It's an older version of Android. I think it's something like the Lollipop version, whatever it may be, and that's what some people have complained in the past. But it's really not an issue. I don't get any latency issues with everything I use. I guess I've used it with my Spark, Maverick Pro, Maverick 2 Pro. I've used it with my Phantom 3 Pro and also my Phantom 4.
Hey Joe, yeah, tell Lon's, well, tell Xavier's boyfriend I said hello to.
All right, now we got a fight coming up. Let me see.
Guys.
Scott owns these too. Scott.
Hey guys.
Dre owns them also.
Hey man. Hey, hang on. Let me grab this.
How you doing, Scott?
We got a fight on our hands. This is going to be good. Rope a dope.
Okay. So here's my deal. How the hell did I get big? You're not supposed to do that to me. Look at my place is a mess. Okay, look, the Android unit, which I don't have handy, it's in the drawer over there. I can dig it out. This is a buddy of mine, Daniel. I borrowed this. This is the HDMI module for the BT300 glasses. I would prefer to use this. If you have I've got the 210 over here. I can use the 210 with the HDMI out on the transmitter. Just connected to this. I can power this. It's a USB powered. I can power this unit from the transmitter. If you have a Phantom drone, then you can always add the HDMI module to the bottom of that. I just find that this works a whole lot better. The Android device that the FPV version comes with is an older version of Android. It's slow. You can side load apps, so you can put the Go app instead of downloading Epson. What they give you, you can download the newest version. It always works. But then you got the little touchpad. That's kind of a pain in the ass to use. If you use it, if you're used to it, it's not too bad. But you go on the HDMI way. I'm going to have to send this back, unfortunately, because this, like I say, this is not mine. If he sees this, Daniel, I scratched a little bit, so maybe I can buy it off of you as a discount model. But anyways, I would much prefer to do this. You can also power it if you have a Crystal Sky. You can use this, and you can power that off the Crystal Sky. You do not need a external battery source. I started using a USB power pack with it, but you don't need to do that. So, anyways, I don't like the Android. It's clunky. That's probably my biggest reason. I've had them for 3 years. I bought them when they first came out. And then they set for probably a good year and a half because I just didn't care for And besides, I share the hobby. So if I'm flying and somebody walks by, I'm like, hey, come over here, and then I try to put them at the controls. So with the glasses, I don't want to stick them on their face and all that. But anyway, that's pretty much why. Sorry I ran on.
Well, everything Scott just said is accurate from his point of view. I've heard the same thing. The trackpad's a little sensitive. The HDMI is more universal with off brands other than DJI you can use them with, and no problem there. But like you say, the price difference, you can get a pair of these BT300s nowadays, even off Amazon, for about 500 and some change. Still retail up to around six something or whatever. But the 35, since it's a newer model, it's up there, $900 and more. So like I say, it depends where your pocketbook is at and what you're looking to get out of it.
I paid $7.99 for the damn things when they came out. When they first came out, and they were just kind of something else. It just kind of, they're nice. They're kind of like a novelty, almost. But one thing that I do like about it, if you're not going to fly any distance at all, too far out, 100 feet or something like that, you don't even need a monitor on your transmitter. As far as like the M210, I can just plug into this straight from the transmitter, have all the information on the glasses, and but it does limit you. The only way that you can get around that being limited is to start out with a device on your transmitter, the Crystal Sky or something like that, or the phone, and then you're unlocked through DJI, so you can fly further than 100 feet out or whatever the hell it is. And then you can just disconnect that. You don't even need the device at all. So all you have is just these and just the transmitter.
What? You're locked into 100-foot distance?
Yeah, if you're not signed into the Go app, if anybody's familiar with that, if you're not signed in, DJI limits your distance. It's like you're in beginner mode.
Bring it in.
Oh, so once you hook that up,
so as soon as you hook it up, you can disconnect it. You got your glasses. As soon as you enter the Go app, or Litchi or whatever, as soon as you go into it, then you're unlocked and you can fly further than whatever that beginner mode is. But if you fly your transmitter, at least this is what I found with the 210. If you fly with just the transmitter, no device at all, you're limited as far as distance and height. So give that a try sometime.
I'm not sure where Scott is going. I never had a problem. I'm flying mine out as far as 8,000 feet, I should say, on mine. I never had a problem. I guess what they want to find out, Scott, more than anything else, is how do you like the glasses themselves, and how does it make you feel when you fly?
I love them. I really do enjoy it when I use them. I've been trying to use them a little more. I really do enjoy them. I did have to get the corrective lenses for them because I have glasses, and I didn't like wearing them over top my glasses. And my eyes weren't quite right, so I went through that Rochester Optical. It was a couple $100 for the lenses. So I paid $7.99 for the glasses, and then you got to add a couple $100 for the optical lenses. And they're kind of neat. I don't know if you have that. You see them attached in front of the nose piece, in between the lenses. That's the ground glass that comes from Rochester Optical.
Oh, yeah.
That's your corrective lenses. So
I thought they had that kit where you could wear your own glasses.
I can, but my eyes were kind of goofy. Everything was kind of goofy. It wasn't. I needed these to see right.
Yeah, I can imagine the distance being a problem.
I wear bifocals. My eyes are different. Both sides are different, so it's pretty. But I do like them, and I've shared these. I've had somebody, I've been flying with them, and I'll have somebody walk by, and I'm like, and they're watching me, and I'm like, hey, come over here, because I love to share the hobby. That's what I'm all about. And so I've stuck these on people, but they were $800, and when I was doing that, they were brand new, and I was kind of afraid somebody'd break them or run off with them, or who the heck knows, So.
No, what I was telling Scott last week was that if I had to rank what devices I like, I would take the the glasses, and then I say my Crystal Sky would be second, and then maybe a tablet or phone would be third.
Yeah, I tend to agree. A tablet, I don't use tablet. I either use a Crystal Sky. Normally I use Crystal Sky. I did buy a adapter for the transmitter so I could use my phone on that M210 if I ever want to. But normally I use the Crystal Sky for everything.
You're going to have to if you want to do an unlock, right? You're going to have to hook your phone up, hotspot it to the Crystal Sky, and then unlock through there. We're the only ones that have to do that, because they 86'd the damn Sendin's remote controller with the M300. So it's only the 200s, and the 200 even has like an Inspire type controller too, doesn't it?
I've got Cadians with that 210.
So the only ones that's taken the Sendin's remote controller is the M210 version 1 and 2. Everything else is either smart controller or the M300 has that new enterprise smart controller, which is a proprietary flight app. Again, from DJI.
I hate that. Oh, by the way, I want to mention with the Android version of the BT300, there is a Epson app that you can use to fly by. I think they worked something out with DJI a long time ago to create this app. I've used it a few times. It did not work with my Phantom 3 Pro very well. I kept losing signal. The P4 Advanced that I had, that worked fine with that app.
Oh, I thought you had to have the Go4 app downloaded onto the BT300s.
Okay, they have their own app also, but you can download. They also supply you a link for the Go app. But if there's a newer version, you can side load that. So, and I had Litchi working on it. Now you side load it, and you have to kind of monkey with it. The maps did not work. I did have Litchi working with it. So,
well, what good is it if the maps aren't working?
Well, that's all about side loading. Anytime you side load something, you may not get the full functionality of the program.
Hey, I wonder, can you, because DJI is not using Google Maps anymore, Google Here or whatever it is, when they were in the beginning. I wonder if you could sideload Google Maps onto that and use it. Or would that only tell you where your controller's at?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they try to get away from that because of legacy protocols?
I don't know, because the Crystal Sky is Android 5.1. So
I just meant GPS as being legacy protocols. Weren't they doing away with a lot of that stuff because of SpaceX program? A lot of the older platforms couldn't use it because they were running legacy.
Oh no, they got 32 satellites counting. Is that what you mean? Me and you talked about that?
Yeah, a while ago, but I mean, it's still being brought up because we're still losing satellites to legacy. I'm sorry, we're not losing satellites to legacy. We're losing it to the SpaceX program. Legacy was the old protocols from forever. GPS has been up there forever using legacy protocols, but I thought they were doing away with that with drones because they weren't keeping up the legacy stuff. Weren't they trying to make a transition? Galileo, GLONASS?
No, GLONASS and Galileo is... GLONASS is ours, Galileo is theirs,
right.
And then there's the SPAS.
Well, GLONASS is Russian, Galileo is UK, and Beidou is China.
And ours is GPS and SPAS.
Right, but we're not using, I thought we were
What about Marco Polo?
That's an actual find your drone item,
Yeah.
I have one.
And Huawei is going to own them all. Control them all
with the 5G.
I have one of the Marco Polos. I really like it. Unfortunately, it doesn't charge anymore, so I have to charge a battery manually, which I don't even use it anymore. But I tracked. I had a buddy of mine. I dropped him off one day down at the park. I drove ways away, and about a mile and a half away, I could pick up the faint signal, and I was able to track it right down to where he hit it behind the tree. So those Marco Polos are pretty good, pretty nice.
Hey, Matt, what are you using? You're a separate system from DJI, thank God. What are you getting to use for a map on your system?
Google Maps, actually.
Didn't we start out with Google Maps?
Yep.
Well,
then they
this
went
one
to
in
here?
particular,
Sure
it
did.
was whatever the Chinese equivalent was in the beginning.
No, well, yeah, but we did have the Google Maps on through the yeah, and it sucked when they went to Here Maps.
Yeah, I remember that. It would be off.
God.
The location would be off. And that was another thing, because that was putting you into, let's say you were close to a Class B or a Class C, it would put you into that area and you weren't there. Speaking of that, does anybody update? I know you don't, Matt, but does anybody update their DJI? What do they call that system? Because I never updated it.
License.
Is that what it is?
The geofencing?
Geofencing. I never upload those maps.
I never do either.
For what?
Because there was that whole thing with AirMap. When AirMap was screwed up in the beginning, and DJI would use
people were
AirMap.
having problems if you didn't do the database update, the fly database update. Sometimes people are saying they couldn't get their bird off the ground.
You were grounded. A lot of people were grounded by that.
Correct.
The Spark was even grounded by that.
I have never updated that thing ever on any of my drones. Maybe that's good, because if I had did it once, it would have made me do it forever. You know, there are some firmwares that they force you to update to that firmware.
There's nothing saying that if they really, really don't want you to, they will. If they want you to, man, they'll find a way to make you do it at some point.
Oh yeah. It'll say cannot take off. You must update firmware or whatever.
If you're continuing to use relevant apps, then yes, at some point, most likely there'll be something that forces you to do it. Especially if they start dropping new regulations on us for, like, you know, drone tracking, ADS-B, stuff like that, then you'll definitely be remote ID, I should say. PC. I've been accused of not being PC lately.
Call it what you want, because we have no idea what it's going to look like. There's only 8 partners in that program.
Whole thing is goofy, man.
You got to have some big money to get in that game to decide our lives.
Of course. The larger people always decide the little people's lives, man. That's how it's always been.
Jaybird wants to know what's geofencing. When you get into, let's say you go into an airport area, you automatically can't fly. If you go too far into the area, the drone will actually land.
I know he's not asking for himself.
Hey,
that's where you type in asking for a friend.
I'm going to go. I'm going to drop off. I'll catch
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it, man.
you guys.
I mean, there's a lot of implements for what? Geofencing. It's great if you don't, when you first get your drone, if you don't want it to run into yourself, you know, there's plenty of reasons for geofencing. But yeah, most of the time when you run into a geofence, it's like what, temporary flight restricted airspace, actual restricted airspace, stuff like that.
I saw a guy with a video where he knew that a TFR was going up. He actually knew the time that the TFR was going up. And he flew into the area anyway and watched his drone go lower and lower till it went right in the water.
Yeah, we talked about that. That was that whole Xavier thing, remember?
Yeah.
That was where the free drone got dished out because Xavier whined and complained about his friend losing his drone.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should have lost it. He knew what he was doing, and he eventually did it. I think he should not have gotten a free drone from DJI. I think they should have just been like, "Oh, that sucks, bro. Maybe next time Fate sent 2 TFRs."
Yeah.
He didn't learn anything, did he? That's like people that don't use their turn signal. Well, you just gonna let them drive away, or you shoot their tire out? If you don't shoot their tire out, they don't learn anything.
You don't shoot their tire out?
That's what paint guns are for, Dan.
Exactly.
You have
A
three
handful of
colors. You have
nails.
the green, the yellow, and the red.
Right.
Green was your first warning. Yellow, guess what? When the red hits, you're targeted.
Sorry. That's why when I used to ride motorcycles, I was bad. I had double neck gloves, man. They had knuckle busters on them. I used to take people's mirrors off. If somebody cut me off with their car, I would take your mirror home as a souvenir because obviously you don't need it. You didn't use it. What do you need it for? I'll take that. Thank you.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, you messing with my life here. Obviously you don't use your mirror, so you don't need it. I'll take a souvenir for this near-death experience.
That's what the commemorative bat is for.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever see a bat or a stick or a pole on a motorcycle, that's what it's for.
Go ahead, cut me off if you want to.
They will always cut you off because I didn't see you.
I couldn't tell how fast you were going.
So Jim, why don't you like that you're geofencing on your drone? Because I mean, it will be able to help you if I'm not
have
mistaken.
actually been locked out and stopped from flying because of the geofencing. When I have FAA authorization to fly an area, I have to go to China and get the okay to fly. I have an internal problem with that. This is a Jim problem. I don't want to go to a communist country to ask permission to fly in the United States. I don't know how it's been allowed to go on this long. How come the United States government can't say, hey, you have no right to do that? And I know why they're doing it. It's because at least DJI has a system. The U.S. government doesn't.
And antennas, Bob, not just mirrors. I have a stockpile of antennas as well.
It used to be you used your foot.
You get what you can grab a hold of on the way by. That's all I'm saying.
Now, this is what you guys were talking about when I left earlier about geofencing or just getting your authorization. Now, when I did mine, I got my COA from the FAA. I went in and did all the information through the DJI Fly, whatever it is, website, and added every controller I had for each one of my drones. So now when I go out there, it automatically has the authorization on each controller, no matter what drone I'm using.
So you sent that certificate to DJI?
Yes, I sent them a PDF of the certificate to DJI, and that way, when I go on my controller and it says unlocking authorization, it has all my controllers listed on each of my separate controllers.
Was that you and me talking about that, or was that with Al, where
you guys were talking about Al when he talking about he had to use LAANC or whatever else, and I said, well, he should be able to continue to get a authorization. Yeah, COA. I advised him still apply for COA and go for a wide area one instead of going for just that location you're flying that day.
Right.
As a business, he can still qualify for as a business.
Go
ahead, Dan.
No, I was going to say, let's clarify for Debra this need for spotters, this flying out of LOS, but you were about to cover more on that topic, so I'll let you go back to what you're doing, and we'll pick that up.
I was just saying that Al had a problem that he couldn't do it, and then I don't remember who said it. If you're flying under that COA, you have to shut it off in the DJI system.
No, I was telling you about that. If you're flying outside of the COA, you may have to turn it off because then the bird register as you fly in a different COA, and it won't let you get off the ground.
Matt jumped off.
Yeah.
That boy's been through some problems.
Yeah.
It is extremely hard to do an actual long-range flight and meet the requirements. I don't care what anybody says. Walkie-talkies and assisted friends helping you is not still the way to do it. It doesn't work properly. They don't have a way to actually keep their eyes on it the whole time without using equipment. You can't make a fast enough decision with 3 people with walkie-talkies. That person has to communicate with that person. This person has to communicate with that person. This person has to communicate with that one. Then it gets back to you. That's bullshit.
It's tough enough when you see it crashing.
Right. So,
down.
you know, it's one of those things where, Jay Brad, is there really a real feasible way to do a long-range test that's going to be legal and meet the requirements of what the FAA thinks it should? I don't think so. I
No.
really don't. I don't think they have an actual defined way of doing that properly. There's stipulations they want you to try to adhere to and meet, at least to keep some safety margin there, but I just don't think there's a real legal way to do it. So.
It's just one of the things they use in the name of safety, saying that they have some kind of safety protocol out there.
Right.
Because look at it, man. Was any drone in the United States ever inspected? No. Every aircraft we have is inspected.
And re-inspected.
No drone is ever inspected. The requirements actually tell you to comply with the manufacturer's maintenance schedule. Let me know when DJI puts one out.
So I've actually been working on a flight path, autonomous flight path with a Parrot Bebop. It would be a 29-mile round trip all the way around Tampa, and there would be 18 batteries used to finish this flight. Each time it would land at a friend's house, they would battery swap, hot swap, and continue the mission from that point to the next person's house.
Oh, my God.
Getting clearance for that has been a very rough ride for me. I have been having to do some extremely astronomical math to make all of this pan out before the FAA will even consider having a look at this flight plan, right? And it has to take the most wild of wildest courses to avoid all main traffic areas. It is the most ridiculous flight plan you've ever seen. And it should have been only maybe 12 miles. It has now been pushed to a 29-mile flight requiring more batteries to do this. At some point, they will probably clear this, and it will be very interesting to see. This will probably be the longest autonomous flight in history of droning up to this point. I don't understand why it's so difficult to get them to make some agreements with me, but we're working on it. It's been 2 years in the making. At some point, hopefully, they will start seeing eye to eye with me a little more, and we'll clear this, and it'll be fun.
You would just say that they're all visual observers going around in a big circle?
Well, so the flight would actually start Temple Terrace and then head out towards the opposite side of far end of Tampa, and then from there it would go to downtown Ybor, and then outside. The issue that I'm going to run into is that I'm going to have to go extremely wide over the bay because they have the airport right on. Oh God, what is that? The island out there. I can't think of the name of it. So I'd have to go wide of that and come back around. So I won't actually be able to go through the city the way I wanted to, but I'm going to have to go around it. And then I have to clear the backside out by the pier. And then once I clear the pier, I'm going to have to do the downtown shipping port lane. And then from there, it's going to come back and circle around the backside of the casino. And then from the casino back into Temple Terrace. It's a massive flight plan.
Adrian, you guys are blue wrenches for a reason. What is this guy's name?
Oh, Joe?
No. I'm not putting it up again. You saw what I just put up, right?
No, I was talking and pointing hands and doing things like this while staring at the ground.
I'm not putting it up again. His name is offensive and everything else.
Good looking honky?
Yes. I didn't want to put it up again. But you're supposed to be taking care of the chat. That's what the blue wrenches are for.
It said it was Peter Matt North.
No, he said Peter North. That's an old drummer from the Monkees.
He said he's a big fan of yours, Jim, and he loved your show.
Yeah, right.
I just now saw his name. That's awesome. What an asshole. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, well. And then Peter North. Hey, we're the Monkees. You don't remember him? All right. I guess I'm too old.
No, I remember. I was on a flight. I was on a flight with him coming back from Anchorage, Alaska. From Anchorage, Alaska, back to Seattle, back to LA.
So, Jim, if they don't clear me for this flight plan, because I'm going to submit it again in another 3 weeks, if they don't clear me for this flight plan, I'm going to request FAA presence for the flight. I'm going to have a coordinator take the flight with me. We will trace the entire route the whole time that we can anyways, up to the point of where it reaches the bay and we can't cross the water. What do you think? Think they'll go for it?
You're never going to get it. They don't have the personnel.
Just one person, complete ride along, whole time.
Never happened.
We're gonna be on LTE. I'll have connection the entire time.
You will
called-
embarrass all the other drone delivery
called-
services. For the
Isn't that the idea? I want to make a point.
I figured this is what you were up to. So I said you would literally embarrass all the other drone delivery systems that are trying to come around to this type of activity.
Leave it to the open source guys to handle business. I got it. Don't worry. I'll take one for the team.
They've already approved some of them, and I
Not
think
like
there was
this.
5. No, not like that. No.
Yeah, this
Simple
is crazy.
delivery.
There's like, oh my God. I think as of right now, I'm at 16,000 waypoints, somewhere around there, roughly. And that's a circle.
Looked it up.
That's a gigantic
16,000 waypoints.
16,000 waypoints. Yep.
How many
can't even
battery? How
program
many
that.
battery swaps?
So we're talking 18 battery swaps, roughly. You're getting about 7 to 8 miles per battery. The problem is I'm not taking any chances. Each time it lands, it's going to be swapped out for another battery.
Now, is there going to be a time limitation on this flight? Because I'm thinking about
I don't really care about the time limitation.
your enemy.
Bebop 2 does pretty good about staying cool, man. I've never had an issue with it. It's been up in the air for quite some time.
That's a light drone too, right?
It is very light. It has no issue handling the wind. It'll take it on like it's got a 27-minute flight time per battery. Should have plenty to get to each location. It'll be a crazy flight, man, if we can pull it off. I'm gonna have to pull have each person at each individual stopping point pull the footage off the camera, format the drive, and then take off again and send it out. I think actually I'm gonna probably have a massive edit that's gonna have to be done to that. So
I guess so.
but it would be fun. I'll shoot it in 720 so it doesn't chew up that much memory. For every third battery, and then we'll have to pull the data off it, swap it.
Interesting question you just brought up, probably inadvertently now. Each time the bird stops, they switch out a battery. How are you going to be able to re-engage it?
LTE connection data, my friend. I've been working on the LTE mod for the Bebop 2 for a while now. I would be initially just making a call to it and then connecting through a 4G data plan.
Okay.
If you had a DJI drone, could you still hot swap the batteries? Like if you did it with a Phantom, a Mavic Mini, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you hot swap the batteries fast enough, you don't lose the program because you have to upload.
No. So each individual stopping point, the program's already preset. Like it's been logged and loaded to it. I'm just hitting go from each location.
Right.
It knows where it's at and how much is completed as we go. It knows that it's in a massive waypoint mission. Like it's well aware of the size of the mission plan.
So you're going to use Mission Planner?
No, I'm going to do it through the software that Parrot provides.
Oh, okay.
We're going each point to each point. All they're doing is uploading the map, and then I'm taking connection from the point where the map is uploaded to the next journey point. See what I'm saying?
Well, because like with GS Pro, you can do the same thing. You can upload, but you can only upload 99 points.
Right.
Max.
Well, we're running on. We're not using Parrot's Free Flight Pro, man. I'm using AR Pro 3. Totally different software. It's all third party.
That would be record breaking.
You think so? I don't think so, man. Dustin Danil's done some pretty crazy autonomous flights himself.
With the Disco.
Hell, he's done over 29, like 29, 27 miles, something like that, with just the Disco.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Parrot's got the same tech in it. Bebop 2 has the same exact camera tech that's in the Disco. It's just a quadcopter instead of a,
Did that one drone ever come back? Did he
Which one?
That one, I don't know. He sent it off to the islands. Remember that?
No idea.
He was going island hopping with it.
Yeah,
And,
no clue.
Crazy, man. That was, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, at least.
I mean, Dustin's got a great area to do it in. My whole area is interference. So that's why I said this could be the worst decision ever or the craziest decision. I don't know which one. If it crashes, it crashes, whatever. We're going to give it about 10 minutes in between each takeoff point, so it's got a little chance to cool off, and hopefully it helps it along its way. That's a lot of flight time on the motors.
Yeah,
He
it
never
is.
found it.
Especially constant running like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you're
Yeah,
going to
point to
have
point.
and you're going to have to turn the power completely off on the drone
Yep.
in order to remove that SD card out of it.
Well,
Otherwise you'll good chance of zapping the card out.
yeah, so you don't actually, the Parrot Bebop 2 doesn't have an SD card. It's all internal memory. You just transfer it right to your phone when you're done. So when it lands, you just connect to it and then copy it and goes right into your gallery on your phone, and then you just delete it through the Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it didn't have an SD card.
It's really nice, man. As soon as you're done with the flight, you just transfer right back to your phone, and then you erase everything. You're good to go. I mean, you can plug it in if you want to. I mean, there's also mods where they show you how to change the SD card if you want to as well. I don't see the reason to.
The Mavic 2 Pro has an 8 gigabyte SD card, and I actually didn't know I had ever used it. And I found some video on it the other day when I was forced to do a compass calibration. As soon as I did the compass calibration, it wanted me to go and now hook it up to the computer and do a vision position sensor update.
Whoa. Hey,
Wow, you guys are getting, yeah.
if you're paying attention, that good looking hunky, he going crazy.
He's gone.
Yeah, he is
He's
going
gone.
nuts.
He's gone from the channel.
Dude, I said boot him, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's come in as the Honky 2, the good-looking Honky. He's coming in as multiple channels now. There's a group of teenagers or kids that are doing this. So, yeah. It's not just the same guy anymore. Oh. Don't you love little kids that are like COVID-19, just stuck at home and can't do anything? Where are their parents?
That's why they're on there.
Who gave that kid a computer? Take it away. Take it away.
I don't know, but I just reported you to Google, so.
Tutorial, little boy. That kid's like, I don't care. I got 15 other profiles to come back as.
But you're using them all on one computer.
And give me 10 minutes and I'll have another 50.
Yeah. That's how little kids roll, man.
Matt, how is it that Brian was just thinking of you? That's a little sexual there, too.
You don't have to time him out. He's blocked from the channel, Adrian.
Okay.
I blocked him from the channel, period. He's gone.
God, Adrian, you're so late.
Matt.
Blow me, Jim. Blow me, Jim.
Adrian.
Matt's
up,
just
Matt?
getting up in Brisbane.
Wendell.
What's going on,
It's the-
window?
It's the beast from the Northeast. What's up?
I wanted Lon to come in so I could play his video. He bought the actual,
Did you just say Lon?
yeah, he bought the
Oh,
Firehouse
yeah,
5.
Gotcha. I'd be bailing on the stream if Lon popped in here, just so you're aware.
What is going? I don't even know what the hell's going on with you guys.
Between Dan and Ken and now Sean.
Lon doesn't have common sense. That's all there is to that, man. He doesn't understand what other people go through. He's so in his own world, man, that I can't bond with that. I'm sorry. When you can't feel something for somebody else or understand a perspective that they're coming from, that's a really sad environment that you've come from. So, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I've given him multiple chances, and he's just.
I guess I missed it all. I thought you guys were playing. I think I just talked right over you, Dre. Sorry.
No, I was saying Lon has that 8K TV everybody likes.
Lon has everything, bro. Didn't you know that? Lon has the first ticket to Mars. Lon owns a spaceship. Lon has got everything given. Like he's got it all, bro. Don't shake hands with Lon because he's got a bigger handshake than you too.
But the question is what the hell do you watch 8K on when you don't have an 8K camera? That's the only thing you're going to be able to do.
been my point to him since the get-go, man. All this stuff that he owns is so unnecessary, bro. You're going over the top for no reason.
You could barely find 4K TV programs.
Your eyes can't perceive past that anyways. What does it matter?
At CES, I was surrounded by 8K TVs. That's what they were pushing this year. You will never need more than a 4K TV.
Mm-mm.
You just won't.
Nope. I agree. Your eyes can't see they can't even register the pixel density beyond that point.
I've been through that. I've put that on our Facebook group. Your eyes are at so many pixels. So let's not go through that again.
Right. But we've talked about this, Jim. Like, we understand that your eyes can only perceive so much. It's scientifically proven that your eyes can only take in so much information at one time.
And then, as you get older, and in the first place, nobody puts their TV at the correct distance away from their seating area anyway. Who the hell ever measures?
Now you're making me feel bad.
What? What?
Because I do measure.
Perfection.
So if you have a 65-inch TV, you're supposed to be 8 to 10 feet away.
I'll put it like this, Jim. I have a surround system from my backyard on a 12-foot blow-up screen.
I got the same thing. Nice.
So I'm one of them folks who like to, I'll break out the tape measure and measure how far my TV from the couch is, how far the speakers are separated.
Are you doing reverse projection, or are you doing it from the
front? Yeah, that's for outside.
Raised.
No, this is outside. I have it just for outside. In the house, I got a 4K in the house that I have that we use while watching the family room, and then
my projector, my DLP projector is only 1080p.
That's what I have outside. It's a 1080p for outside. It's an Epson 1060 for outside.
So you're just mounting it, right, and then adjusting your keystone value as needed.
Pull down the white screen.
Okay. Right. Yeah. But it's good for the family. We're out there in the summertime like it is now. Too hot to be in the house. Go outside and watch a movie.
I liked it before 4K came out, because you're watching a 6-foot screen in your living room, for Christ's sakes, but you have to keep it dark.
Not really. Not the newer models. I mean, I've got a Vizio, and I mean, I can have my overhead lights on. I don't have the lights going directly down over the front of the screen. I have lights that are over where I'm sitting, and I'm sitting right about, it's 14 feet wide, deep. So
your projector. Now you're talking about your projector TV.
No. A regular Ultra 4K screen.
No, I'm talking about the 1080p DLP projector.
Yeah, I have. It's a Epson. It's an Epson 1060, whatever. It's very strong. It has something like 3,200 looms on it. Gives great picture. Like I said, I feed it through a Blu-ray DVD player. I have set up my outside system and everything else. So, like I said, what you feed is the biggest thing, because most projectors will pass through a good signal, if you don't have something good to feed it.
How many hours are you getting out of your bulb?
Like I said, I don't watch it that often. Like I say, in the house, I would probably go through thousands of hours. But outside, we might use it maybe 5 times during the summer. We might go out there and watch something, unless we have something special going on. Because like you said, you talking about outdoors work here in Southern California. Steve tell you right now, we look at the window, and here it is, 7:08 Pacific Standard Time, and we still got another hour of daylight to go.
Yep.
What's funny, Dan, is as soon as I bought that, I started looking, because bulbs are like $600. So I started looking for guys who made, because the bulb comes in a cage, and the cage gets put in to the system all in one piece. That's why it's proprietary, and you get to pay. So then I would find guys who just made the bulb, and you could keep your cage and replace the bulb only.
Yeah, you just can't touch the bulb at all.
Right.
No finger grease, bro. Pop like a zit.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah, bro.
If you be looking at the chat,
don't. Just let it go. Down. Let it go. Those two need to hash things out. Let them hash it out.
And have you been reading? I'm not even going to say nothing. repeating.
It doesn't matter. Those two need to hash this out. That's something they've needed to hash out for a while. It either does or it doesn't. They're two grown men. They can handle it.
Exactly.
They're not going overboard right now. They're
It
keeping
needs
it
to be
pretty.
hashed out, but why even talk about it?
Doesn't matter because this is the only time they get to see each other. It's not like they're gonna call each other, you know. I'm just saying they're not getting carried away. Just let them have their talk and see how things go.
Yeah, I do the better way, Dre. I just sit inside and open up the door and in the family room. I've got my 60-inch screen and I'm just about 10 feet right from the TV, surround of sound. One of the things I did do is I just right at Christmas time, I ended up going with the Sonos surround of sound. I went to the complete wireless system. I had a Bose system before, and well, it was for the time. You got to remember, I had that thing for almost 15
I would
years.
actually have to blow the dust off of this damn thing out here in the garage, because these things were all in proprietary cages. That's why you had to pay top dollar for them.
You need to send that to Dan. That's the flux capacitor need for a vehicle.
Yeah.
What happened? What?
I said that big old bulb like the flux capacitor you need for your vehicle.
Yeah. Hey now. Yeah, kind of.
This would blind you, man.
But I tell you, I went to the Sonos, their wireless network system. I've had their speakers, but I went and got the home theater system. I am truly impressed by the quality of it.
What is that, Dan? An XT?
That looks like the plug for it. Oh, that is definitely not an XT. That is something else, man. That is a different prong setup there, buddy.
That's proprietary.
It almost looks like an XT, but it looks like some kind of proprietary plug.
And one thing that they did come out with, Dre, they've come out with a total self-contained battery-powered rechargeable. So like their Sonos speakers, their One and stuff like that they have, but it's weather resistant and it's battery powered, so you can take it and put it outside.
Oh, that must be nice. I'm old school when it goes to that. I run the wires to the house. You know, I have a 7.2 set up in the house. I do the same thing, 5.2 system outside with the subs and everything else. But like I say, as far as one thing I run wireless is I'm one of those old school guys. I have Logitech bought this company out called Slim Devices, and they came out with a device called a Squeeze Box. And it's basically it's a music server, is what it is. Yeah. And that thing, I got that thing in the mid 2000s, and I have not turned back from it since. Sonos has came out, and other folks have came out with other streamers and stuff. But the Squeeze Box line has been like the pinnacle of all other music streamers that are out there. Everybody's kind of had to fall behind their lead because they came out with the nice. They call it was the certain musical chip back in the day, and they upgraded on their top of the line models of having the same music chip that came in the original PlayStation. And people don't realize that the musical chip that came in the original PlayStation is one of the top of the line musical chips that's still in use today in audio video receivers.
Huh.
Yep.
Who want to touch my audio video receiver?
Who was that guy from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young who made that Phono system? It was a proprietary sound system. It was supposed to be the best, better than DVD, CD, digital. Oh, God.
What's his name?
I know. I can't stand that. It never really took off either. I don't know how much money he would have lost on that one.
Well, I remember a guy from England. Now, he came out with some songs back in the early 80s. Now, you got me forgetting names now. Yeah, Blinding Me with Science is one of his songs, and he came out with another one. And he invented one of the original sound chips for computers. And he's like one of the behind-the-scene guys, and he just made a fortune, but nobody knew it was him behind the scenes and stuff. Oh, and the mini projectors? Yeah.
Hey, don't hate, appreciate. It's very bright, bro. It is a crazy, insane little bright. It's 1080p at 60 hertz, man. This thing's insane, dude. It runs on 90 minutes of battery power, but camping, we were just talking about this the other night. This thing is the size of a tiny little itty-bitty cell phone, bro. And it does extremely well. It is crazy for this little projector. You need this everywhere. You take it outside to your friend. I mean, it's dumb bright. It is stupid bright, bro. I've never come across an LED projector this bright with this much clarity. Not in a small form factor like this.
I got a little small one that I've used for just inside offices when I had to give a presentation. Put it up
Boom.
on the wall. Boom. Done.
Dude, I unplugged it. My music kicked on again. I'm feeling it.
All right, gentlemen. It's over the dinner hour.
What does that mean?
That means we're done for tonight.
Means it's 10:15 his time.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Dre and I, it's dinner time.
I had my lasagna earlier, so I'm good.
You know, I got to sit there. I haven't used that projector now, and you guys got me all talking about it. But see, I got the 4K. I don't know where I would put it now.
Nah, isn't worth it with the 4K out nowadays.
But you know, you're running into stuff that isn't broken, still works great, and you're not using it.
Yeah, well, that's like my Bose system. I'm going to end up selling it off. I'm going to put it up for sale and sell it out, locally, because due to the weight, no way you can ship it. It cost more to ship than I'd get for the unit.
Hey man, I want to say good night to everybody. Jim, Dre, Dan, Steve, everybody in the chat. Have a good night, man. See y'all later.
Toodles, man. Dre.
Hey, Adrian.
Dre.
Yeah.
I set up my projector, right? My screen. And then I set that little bitty tiny projector next to my pool. That way it's not crowding the area. And then I blow up the projector and we watch Jaws while everybody swims and it's dark out. You want to talk about freaking people out? You know you're in a pool. But when it's dark, all you feel is the water and you're watching Jaws come and you're like, no, man. This isn't cool, man.
Dan, I've got one for you.
Too?
What?
Is your projector, Dre, this big too?
No.
Oh my God, no.
Mine's probably about, I would say 8 inches across the front, about 6 inches in depth.
Oh shit, mine's huge.
Yeah. I've got one for you, Danny boy. Here's one for you. Diving. Go to the Caribbean. We're sitting there on a cruise ship. Met some people on board to go diving. We're off diving. Water visibility like I've never seen. We're just off the island off St. Thomas. We get down. We're swimming around through the coral reefs. We're in about 40, 45 feet of water. I look up and look back. You can see the bottom of the glass bottom boat. And the one kid's mom is up there with their, this is a long, long time ago, with their Kodak camera taking pictures down. Those came out clear as a bell. We're swimming along with this girl that I met on board the boat. We're swimming, and all of a sudden, this shadow just goes right over the top of us. Mind you, this is 1 week after Jaws came out. My heart just went, ugh. I turned my head to the side, and what is it? A dolphin with its nose this far from me and just going like this. I'll tell you what, I thought I was going to become Jesus Christ and start walking on water all the way back home.
I'll tell you what, I thought you were about to tell a totally different story when you said glass bottom boat and woman up above.
That came later. That came later.
I was waiting for the upskirt, like, dude, she wasn't wearing panties. Like, yeah. That's sorry. My brain took me there. I was at that point the shark out the window.
Oh, we'll go on television. Look at the last protest up in Portland. Gal sitting there totally naked with her legs spread like this, facing the National Guard.
Oh yeah, freaking the sheets.
The only thing I wanted to know, what if a guy would do that?
Hear what I'm listening to, man. I'll share it before I get off here. Put it in private chat.
No bit by shark, thank God.
No, good for you, Steve. Just a little dolphin love, face to face. Nothing wrong with that. How many people can say they made out with a dolphin?
Not that. Just how many years that dolphin took off my life, and I was only 21 years old.
Lots of Jaws. When the hell did Jaws come out? Was that 73?
Oh God, early 70s. Stupid early.
I tried to watch it. Oh, you did? You saw it at a drive-through?
Yeah, drive-in back in the day.
Have you ever watched it swimming, sitting on a pool floaty?
Like I said, if I'd have been in Steve's position, I'd have said, "Oh, everybody out of the pool. We're out of here. We're gone. We're gone."
You gotta really mess with your head. Go to the deep end of the pool and do it. Because the deep end always scares you, even as a kid. As an adult, you don't think about it as much until Jaws is playing.
Yeah.
Now you got a thing to worry about,
Yeah, that's
Whoa.
wild.
Have you seen the RC shark fin that's out?
I've seen it.
It's a radio controlled like a shark, but it's just the fin that stays out of the water, and it's robotic RC.
I'm not sure I would want to deploy something like that in Florida. I think I would get killed.
No, in your pool.
You don't want to mess with Floridians, bro. Not right now.
In your pool.
Oh, well, that's different.
Yeah.
Still, though, you'd hear the little motors going. At a beach, you'd never hear that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You just need to hook it to fishing string and just drag it through the people.
Wow.
Just tie it to the back of you and just walk around,
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Hey, here's Sharp's 8K 5G drone. Where is it? How do I do that?
What is this now?
Their 8K 5G drone.
Whose?
Sharp.
Ah. Because we need those.
I can't imagine. Listen, I was going to show you something else tonight that these people came out with. It carries 110 kilos.
Drug dealers are happy all over the world.
I was going to bring that up to Matt when he was on here. Drone strike. I said, yeah, come up to the Central Valley of California. There's tens of thousands of acres up here with weed growing all over the Central Valley.
Yeah, they're looking for flyers like crazy up there all the time. Looking for people to do acreage droning for them people.
Recovery, what's up, man? You going to join us this Thursday? Dobo, Accelerated Heights. Some of the Rotor Riot guys are coming out for FPV. You going to join us, man? What's up? Going to come rip Tater Chip?
I'll come and watch, man. I'm not an FPVer, man. I'm still GPS.
You live in Florida, right?
No, I'm California.
No.
Well, you bring your ass to Florida by Thursday.
No, y'all got that crazy heat. I'm not going to Florida.
Hey, Bill, Metro Drones.
It's a lovely heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take the heat we got here. Thank you.
Like I said, it's a wet heat. I'll take the dry heat.
Maybe I'll invite Bill, the drone reviewer. Think he'll have fun at an open source meeting?
Oh. I want you to film that. I want you to film that.
Where is the one I'm trying
If I ever run into Bill, the drone reviewer, I'm going to film it.
You're lucky. What are you complaining about?
What? That's my point. He's so scared to go out and do things with the local people now because he knows I might be there, that he just flies through the backyard. I control his world. Recovery.
What bird is this?
This thing is sick. Look at the cameras on here.
I weigh about 40 pounds.
It's got ARRI cameras, shot over cameras. Anybody got a couple of 100,000 I can borrow?
Cost you more than that.
No, not long.
All that's cool, but I just want a drone that can carry my big ass around.
The thing carries 113 kilos, did I say? What is that in weight? Double it.
13 curves. That's 2.2.
110 kilograms, 242 pounds.
Yeah. Oh, it can almost lift my big butt. I need to lose some weight.
That's insane.
Oh, you can tell it's heavy. Look at what it's doing to the ground grass below it. The amount of thrust coming off that thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's got motors the size of your hands.
Geographic channel type drone.
That's insane.
Your music does not match the music I'm listening to. I have to pause it.
Give me that Inspire look like a Phantom.
Why can't they make these things go faster yet?
Depends what you're filming, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see these drones hit the speeds of the Solo from 2015. Why can't they do that yet?
Have you guys ever seen a guy by the name of Trent Palmer? He is he's a professional drone pilot for the movie industry. He does a lot of commercials and movie industry stuff. I don't know if you ever saw the one he put together where they're ready to go. It took like 9 months to a year in planning to get the shot in San Francisco. And then what happens? A car comes driving down through an area that was supposed to be blocked off, and they've got everything up in the air. His bird in the air is $275,000 with that camera equipment on it.
It's funny that you mentioned the word professional, because I was watching a droner's video the other day, and I asked him that question. I said, why do you call yourself a professional when the other folks call themselves commercial? Because Part 107, Part 107. So I asked the question. I said, do you have an extra classification of professional status?
Right.
I saw that.
And he never answered me back. And I said, I wasn't trying to be funny or anything, but I see people say, I'm a professional drone operator. I said, okay, I must have missed that part in the FAA study guide, because I saw hobbyist and I saw Part 107. So how do you get a professional status license?
Is there a certain amount of years or miles I need to fly?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I want to.
I'm a professional YouTuber. Disagree with you.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said, I said, why do you call yourself professional other than commercial? Because you have a commercial license status. Does it say professional on there, or does it say remote pilot?
Maybe I'm a dick. Technically, I do get paid to do that.
I'll give Brendan a lot of credit. I've met him, and I'll tell you what, his portfolio of what he's done in the motion picture television industry is a mile long.
I don't doubt that.
Here's the 8K 5G one.
So much for getting offline, huh?
I know. I just got to get that thing.
No, but I don't discount the guys what they're capable of doing. They've earned their stripes and stuff. But when they self-announce, I had to ask that question. So,
I know. I was laughing my butt off when you put that in there in the chat.
Who else did I do that to? I did that to. Who else did that? What's his name? Over at the weird mustache. What's his name? I can't even think of his name anymore. Biker. No, not biker. Mountain biker.
Military grade right there.
Road biker. Steve.
I'm trying to think.
Spike?
Claude. Oh, Claude.
And Claude was going around telling everybody he's a professional YouTuber and makes like 5 cents.
Yeah.
What a joke.
It takes time over just getting 1,000 subscribers to become a
professional YouTuber, man.
Oh my God, though. Did you see the people he got subscribing to him?
Yeah, they're all like Asian and Thailand people.
Holy
they don't speak a lick of English. He just goes around searching for anybody that'll subscribe to his channel.
8K 5G.
This thing is supposed to be working strictly 5G, which I guess is in Japan because it ain't here.
I was going to say, he's not flying too far around here with this 5G signal only.
I was going to say, that sucks, man. There's so many downsides to 5G, honestly. You get a better video signal. You get a better video signal quality, but range goes out the window, man.
It's speed. It's speed is all it is.
Yeah.
Because you go 1 block away and you can drop a signal that quick.
Yep.
That's why Verizon and AT&T and all the big boys are having such a problem with the 5G networks, because until they get it fully implemented to where the home routers and the phones will start retransmitting the signals out, that's going to take time because everybody's got to get the phones.
Yeah. And until they get it figured out, all of you will keep dying from COVID-19 because it's because of the 5G towers.
That's right.
See, because you can hang another.
That's why I only have 4G. I'm safe. See, I haven't caught it yet.
Oh my god, that whole argument is so goofy.
I never even
Flat
heard
Earth.
that.
No,
one.
it's round. No, it's flat. What?
That is ridiculous. I haven't heard that one yet.
What's that? The 5G?
Yeah.
Yeah, people are saying COVID-19 is because of 5G. The microwaves are hitting your brain and causing you to feel like you're sick.
What?
That's what I did when I first heard. I was like, "What?
Yeah, no
All these
kidding.
conspiracy theory people need to go inside, stop smoking so much weed."
Say that again.
Or smoke more, or smoke more of it.
Well, they've obviously smoked themselves retarded at this point. So. I don't know. God, yeah, there was channels that I actually liked for a while, and then they started off on this 5G tangent. I was like, "What happened? 5G is drying your brain, didn't you know? Is that what's happening? Oh, it's messing with your respiratory system. So wait a minute, 5G radio waves are causing me to have COVID-19? Please explain this deeper. I must know." Yeah, it takes your internals and it just turns them to jelly. Oh, okay.
It's frying the capillaries in the inside of your lungs, melting them right away.
Right,
More
just gone.
conspiracy theorists?
Yeah, dude, it's so weird.
God.
It is so goofy.
What's really crazy though with the 5G is everybody's going and saying, "Oh God, it's so great," but the one thing they're all forgetting about one big thing.
It goes from phone to phone.
The data rate plan that you're on, you're going to be crimped down in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And number two, you're so used to sitting there going, "Okay, I'm going to download a 4K video, a movie. I'm going to download it to my phone or my tablet to watch it." And I'm doing it in a matter of seconds, not minutes on a regular internet speed, because you're talking in essence a 2 gig network. So you 2 gigabyte network speed in comparison. That's what most of the stuff is out there right now. You sit there and you want to see your data plan get sucked right down in a matter of a month.
Oh yeah.
That's where they're going to be making their money.
Yeah, I don't. LTE works just fine for me. I don't need anything else, man. They already compress me enough as it is. I'm not excited for 5G at all. It's not because my COVID-19 chest and capillaries are going to explode from 5G network, but I'm just saying, brain aneurysms left and right. It's frying your brain, dude.
I thought they started that. I thought that all ended. When these things were supposed to be too close to your ear and we're going to give you cancer.
Death. Maybe it's happening now, Jim. That's what's happening.
That's what's happened to the left.
Yeah.
You remember that song, "Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right"? Here I am, stuck in the middle with you. Steelers wheel. On that note, good night.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Take care until next week.
All right.
We not live?